Are you one of the people from MTV Cribs here to see my 300 board game collection? I'll take that silence as a yes. Okay, so we're just gonna go shelf by shelf, bookshelf by bookshelf, and I'm sure we'll get this done in like 20 minutes. All right, so we start with Marvel United. Marvel United is it's a pretty good game. It's very light for my tastes, but I can see its appeal, especially since it has all those like chibi miniatures that are like really cute. But I find the card play to be relatively boring, even though I like the fact that you don't spend a lot of turns feeling like you're doing nothing because all the cards sort of chain off one another. But it rarely gets played in my house. I've been told to try other base sets because they're better. For now, this is what I would give this would be probably a C. Super Motherload is a really good light deck builder where you're sort of like tunneling down into the earth and essentially like unearthing all these like raw materials that you're going to use to buy more cards to make your tunneling experience more powerful. It's a really cool game, and it's a bit of a race to see who can get, a certain amount of cards in order to win. Like I said, it's a game that nobody talks about, but I think it's pretty damn good. I would give this like an A. For me, Azul sort of has been replaced by Azul Duel. I usually only play this 2 players, but I find Azul Duel quite a bit better. But this is still a pretty good game. I like the chunkiness of the tiles. I like how I like how deceptively evil you can be in this game. You would think like a game about building a mosaic wouldn't have so much meanness in it to it, but like there are certain ways in which you can sort of just screw out other people and just make them like take these tiles that they don't want and to get a bunch of negative victory points. Kim won't play this with me. King of Tokyo is, of course, one of those games where if I'm going to a large gathering and somebody asks me to bring board games, the chances are I'm bringing King of Tokyo. I don't love it anymore, but I do like it, and I do admit it's just always fun, just bashing on people and just rolling all those freaking dice. Solid B tier game. Sheriff of Nottingham does not get played very often in this house because Kim doesn't like board games where you have to lie, and that's all this game is. That's all this game is. You can go into the game like deciding like I'm just going to be truthful for the entire time, but you actually know I've seen people do that and they win. I actually lose most of the time because I just always lie. I think that says more about me than it does about the game, but it is a good game. I would give this a B. Suro is a super light game where you're essentially just sailing your ship along and having a good time and trying to do your absolute best to get other people's ships to sail off into the oblivion. It's not a friendly game, but it's not a game that has a lot of depth and a lot of like interesting choices. But like it's a 15-minute game, so I expect it from that. I have the one with the dragon expansion, and I don't think we've ever used the dragons. I'm always just kind of happy enough to just use the base game. Yeah, this is a good one to have here in collection, and I think it's relatively cheap. Oh yeah, I would give this a B. Next up is Nidavellir, a game that I'm not really sure why it's in my collection because I don't like it. I think Kim likes it. I think that's why we keep it. We never really play it, but I have nothing more to say about it. I'm just gonna give it a D. That's right. There are games in my collection that I think are D's. So so this will be a lot more entertaining than what you've probably thought. Where you just thought I'd be like, oh, S A S S. This is a D. I feel like Calico was like the start of all those content creators calling every single board game they saw cozy, and you can see why. Yeah, it's really cute, but it's deceptive because it's more or less just an abstract game, and it's actually pretty damn challenging. I'm not the biggest fan simply because I'm not a huge abstract fan, and there's only so many abstract games I want to get to the table, and sadly, it doesn't seem to be one of them these days. I haven't played this in a few years, I think. I think I would give this a C. This, I think, is one of Eric Lang's earlier games. And if I'm being honest, I think one of his better games. This is before he started creating all those like derivatives of all the same game, just like over and over and over again. But this one is very combo heavy. It's very light. You essentially just like you're laying down these big chunky tiles, and those tiles can combo with the tiles that you place it beside. And you're getting magic spells and you're casting them, and there's a lot of good player interaction. I give this a B. It's a cute game. Bonus miniature game collection thing. This is, like I said, it's a miniature game. But here's the thing. If you're playing like Thunder Road and you're thinking to yourself like, whoa, what a cool and fun game, you're wrong. This is a better game, like an infinitely better game. It's cheaper, And you can go to like Walmart and buy those like $1 Hot Wheels cars, and those are your cars. And you can kit them up and like put guns on them and paint them if you want to, or you don't even have to. The rules are really fun, and this is just like the best miniature game party game you will ever have. You get 4 people, it's a blast. It's awesome. This is an S tier game. So we move on to the next shelf, and I am sitting in a chair now. Plot Heroes is your classic Kickstarter bloat game, where I ended up getting, I think, everything, and I believe this is all painted. It's actually really pretty. I'm not going to show you because I'm not going to do much B-roll in this video, but I assure you, it's very pretty. You essentially just like move these like giant cubes, and you just turn them around, and you move around this map, and I don't like it, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's so pretty. So it's a D. I give it a D. I don't like this game. I really love this game, but sadly it is a game that just doesn't hit the table very much because it requires an immense level of commitment. It is almost, it's basically like Game of Thrones, the board game, except a good amount better in some ways. And then like you can sort of scheme and like have royal marriages and then kill your spouse and try to become the Pope, and you're doing all these crazy things. But the game just takes an immense amount of time, primarily because there's a lot of table talk that occurs. You know, you're making alliances and like, breaking alliances. But it is a very, very, very good game. I haven't tried the other ones, but I'm just gonna say this one's my favorite, even though I haven't played the other ones. It is an A tier game. Yeah, Trois is just like a fantastic dice placement game where you're trying to like build up your little fiefdom or whatever, and it's just lots of cool interactions, and it's a lot of fun to play. I don't play it very much anymore simply because I don't know. It doesn't excite me, but it is a good game. It is a very good game. I'd give this an A. It's an A tier game. And up next is Dice City. There was a time period in my board game history when I didn't like Manchicoro, but I wanted a game like that. So I just started buying all the games like that. And Dice City was one of them. I like it. It's pretty decent, but it's not great. You know, it's not really doing anything special. I'd give this a C. Expedition Northwest Passage is a relatively simple set collection that would otherwise be boring if it had not been for like the sun mechanic, where the sun sort of like travels around the board, and if you get caught with you have a boat and you have a sled, and if you get caught in your boat when the sun sort of goes south and you don't get onto a sled, you just get stuck. You get stuck in the ice, and it's a really cool mechanic. But at its heart, it is essentially just like a race with set collection, but it's still pretty good. I'd say B tier game. And next up is Mind Management. I think this is Kim and I's favorite hidden movement game. I think it's really great at 2 players, but it's actually one of the few hidden movement games where it actually plays more well, I would say. Lots of cool abilities that you can have where it feels like you're not just, you know, going around and trying to find the one person, because you can also try to like suss out who his, like, I don't know what the game calls them. I think they're henchmen that sort of assist him in all his like nefarious deeds because he's going around trying to recruit people. It's just a really, really, really good game with really fantastic art. I would say A tier game. Freedom is a game that doesn't get a lot of play anymore just because, I guess because it's older and we don't play a ton of cooperative games, and when we do, we tend to gravitate towards the new and shiny cooperative games, but it is still a good game. You go around and you're trying to free the slaves, and you know, you're playing all these cards and moving them around and trying your best to outwit the slave catcher. The one issue though is that like, and this is actually one of the benefits of the game, is that there's optimal choices, but there's no perfect choice, because at some point you're going to have to sacrifice some individuals. So you're just gonna have to say like, yep, here, go. This is for the greater good because I'm gonna save more people. And that, it could be frustrating to do that, but that's kind of one of the good parts about the game, because it's asking you to make some really tough choices. I would say B tier game. Invasion is such a unique light war game that plays in teams, and not just teams, but like 3 versus 2. Like, you're not going to get many games that do that sort of uneven team thing, and yet everybody feels included. It's really easy to get around, to you know, to sort of understand and get to the table. It doesn't take long to explain. The card play is really good. The battles are relatively simple. The game doesn't last very long. I think it's just 1 to 2 hours, but I've never had the game go over more than an hour and a half. Great game, great 5-player game. Definitely worth owning if you find that like 5 players your collection is sort of lacking because a lot of 5-player games have a tendency to be party games, whereas this game is like a step above that party line, but still good and still has a bit of depth. I would say B tier game. Wasabi is a game that I don't remember. I don't remember this game at all. I've had it in my collection for a long time. I know it has bamboo mats. I know you're collecting sushi, and I think it's just like a point collection game. So I'm just gonna skip this and just give it a C. If I'm not playing anymore and I barely remember it, I probably don't hate it, so it's probably a C. Broom Service is this like wicked good family game that like nobody talks about, but I think when you're talking about entry-level games and games that play really well at like 4 players, this is one of the tops. I very rarely see replicated this cool mechanic that exists in this game where everybody plays a card for their action and everybody has the same cards, but you can decide if you want to play like the brave version of the card or the cowardly version of the card. But if you play the brave version, it goes around the table, and if anybody else has that card in their hand, because you only have a set amount of cards on a given turn, they can also play it and say, I play the brave. So you get this like cool push your luck that I don't see in a lot of other games, and it's like Kiki's Delivery Service, which I love. It's one of my favorite movies. So this is an A tier game, A tier family game. I had the opportunity to get that like super deluxe upgraded version of Castles, and I was like, no, I like my cheaply made $20 to $30 game with the really piss poor components. This is the one I like. It's a great game. I play it on BGA like all the time, and whenever I have somebody coming over and there's only 2 of us and we're kind of waiting for somebody else to come and we have like 40 minutes, I usually bust this game out. Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't need to say anything else about Castles of Burgundy. I would give this a solid, I'm going to say S. I'm going to say S. This is a solid S tier game. Thunder Alley is another one of those fantastic 5-player games that's a lot heavier than your traditional party game, where you're not just racing a single car, you're racing like a team of cars. And they all do these like cool things like drafting and things that you'd expect from a racing game. It's mostly car driven. This is one of my favorite racing games. Fun fact, I wrote the instruction manual for, I think, the follow-up to this game, Grand Prix. But halfway through the process, he decided that he didn't want to pay me. so like I gave him the manual, but I said like, don't put my name on it. And also, I'm not going to finish this. So I've written like half of the Grand Prix manual. But I don't have that game for obvious bitter reasons. I just keep this one. Thunder Alley is a good game. I would give this an A tier game. Really good for 5 players. Ever since getting Evergreen, I seem to be no longer able to play this. I bring this to the table and people are just like, I just want to play Evergreen. But I kind of like photosynthesis better. Yes, okay, if you've a long time watching the channel, you know that I'm a mean person, at least in board games. I love blocking people's sunlight. I'm positioning my trees to make sure that other people don't get the sun. I like that. But yeah, it probably won't get played again. I'll probably end up selling it. I would say B tier. So in the evolution box, I also have, I think, the climate upgrade and the flight upgrade and something else. It's a great game that plays really well at like 4 players. I just love how you have to adapt on every single turn. You can have these strategies in your mind of what you want to do for the long term, but you're just constantly like, you are adapting. You are trying to like go with the flow. And it's really thrilling to sort of turn over those cards and be like, oh shit, he pulled out a carnivore card. Now I have to make sure I can react to that and get hardening or camouflage or something. Really good light game. I think it's been upgraded a bit with climate. We'll probably get into that in another video. A tier game, A tier. And next we have Lord of the Rings, the card game. This is a game that I would play with my friends cooperatively a bunch. The problem was we stopped playing it that much because the setup time always took quite a bit of time. And over time, we didn't really enjoy the process. But for the time that we did play it, it was a good game. And I do like this one. I give this a B. This is a B tier game. And next is everyone's favorite party game, Seven Wonders. Yeah, Seven Wonders is another one like King of Tokyo where I just if somebody tells me to bring board games, there's a lot of people. I don't need to talk about Seven Wonders. It's a B tier game. It's a good game. Canvas is fine. I'm not the biggest fan, but Kim really loves it. She thinks all the art is pretty and crap. I think it's fine. You know, it's more or less like a set collection game where you're just trying to put the clear plastic cards in your painting to sort of create a greater painting by just matching sets and stuff and get victory points. C tier game. So I own everything that is Lost Ruins. We just picked this up at Gen Con. Really excited to play the new expansion. We love Lost Ruins of Arnak. It is one of our favorite action or worker placement games that plays for a wide variety of different people, like whether you're a hardcore gamer or sort of lighter gamer. We love it. I give us an A. It's an A tier game. Scythe is a pretty popular game that people were playing online almost all of the time, I myself included. It's not well balanced. It's not well balanced at all, but none of his games really are. But like many of his games, it is fun, and I think balance is sacrificed for the sake of fun. You get to move these mechs around. It's very cool. It's a very much a puzzle of making sure everything's really well optimized in terms of your actions. It's a good game, and even though we don't play it much these days, I would still give this an A tier game. Through the Ages is a masterpiece, and it upsets me when I hear people say like, "Oh, I just play online. You don't have to play the real game anymore." No, no, it has to be played in person. You have to sit down for 6 hours, and you have to play with 2 other people because it is a brilliant, brilliant 3-player game. My brain is burning the entire time, and yet the entire time, all 6 hours of it, I am having a blast. I love drafting from the card row. I love the conflicts and the wars and the little mini diplomacies that you can do. It's great. It is an S tier game. It is my favorite game of all time. SETI was the hot game of Gen Con in 2024, and for a good reason. It is a very good game that feels a lot like Terraforming Mars. Except I don't think the card play in this, or at least the card abilities, are as clever and as varied as Terraforming Mars. But I do enjoy SETI. I especially like the way the galaxy sort of moves, and that tactical placement of making sure that like, oh, I'm going to place my guy here now in the hopes that you move the galaxy in the future so that I can get closer to the destination I want to go to. It's clever. It's cool. I would give this probably a high B tier. Kim and I love Ark Nova. This is one of the few games where both of us just sort of crave it sometimes. We're looking at each other and we're like, we need to play Ark Nova. It's been a month. This is too long. I love the action selection. We love the cards. It's hard. It's a little long, but yeah, it's just a great game. Easy S tier game. S tier game. And next is a game with a battle tower, Shogun. This is a game we don't play much anymore because it's hard to find 4 other dudes who want to just beat the living hell out of each other and drop cubes in a battle tower, but it is a very good game. Like I said, I wish I played it more. We don't play a lot of area control games in this house. It doesn't feel like, at least not once playing at 5. But like, as I said with a few other games, this is definitely one of the games that plays 5 players that you want to have in your collection just in case, I guess. I would give this an A. I like this game. Awakening the Bear is one of the most accessible hex and counter war games you are going to find. It is absolutely pretty. It's really easy to understand. It's got a great tutorial that sort of builds up as you play more missions, and so you can understand how all the different units function. I love it. I don't get to play it much anymore because it's hard to find somebody that is interested in moving around those little chits. But but hopefully I'll just make new friends when we move out west and then want to play this game with me. This is Awakening the Bear is an S tier game. S tier. I'm not going to take Gloomhaven out because I don't want to pick it up. It is a very good campaign style game that is still one of those games where I was like, I was really hesitant getting into it. But then when we started playing, I realized, oh, the mechanics here they're really good. They're really good. Like the combat especially is excellent. I wish the story was better. It is sort of just a hodgepodge of stuff, but the lore is pretty good. And like I said, that combat is what sells it. I would give Gloomhaven an A tier. And for the next bookshelf, we're going a little crazy here. And we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So first we have Mage Knight. Another brilliant game, one of my favorite designers of all time. I have talked about this game in numerous videos, so just watch one of them. Just watch the Playing With Myself video. Yes, it is crudely titled, but I promise you, I guess it's just my opinion. I think it is one of the best videos on board gaming on the internet. Take of that what you will. It is a fantastic game. I give this an S tier game. War of the Ring is another game that gets talked about on this channel a lot because it is a brilliant two-player war game. I love it. It plays really well on both sides. It's exciting. It's tense. It takes way too long to set up and way too long to play. But man, when it hits the table, it's just like it's an event. It's an event game. Easy S tier game. Beyond the Sun really surprised me. It looked like something that was going to be incredibly boring, and yet the way it handles that sort of progression through the tech tree, it's a lot of fun, and there's really good interaction here, and I even like the sort of light area control on the planets that happens on the sideboard board. I like it all. I think it's great, and I haven't played the expansion. If you think the expansion is really good, let me know. Tell me if I should buy it. Beyond the Sun, I'm gonna give it an A tier game, high A. Francis Drake is a game you've probably never heard of, and yet that is a shame because it is an excellent game. It's got that sort of rondel where you're working your way on the top of the board, deciding, basically just kitting up your crew, deciding whether or not you should push more further forward to get the best stuff, or you should hang back because you don't want to miss things. And then after that round is done, you go to the second round, which is a lot of like really interesting, like hidden movement and hidden action selection, where you get to reveal what it is you're doing, and you hope you sort of like get in the minds of other players and see like, oh, that person's going to probably attack the Spanish galleon this turn. This person's going to attack the fort. It's really good. And like I said, there's not a lot of games that play 5 players that are heavy. That are actually good. Five Tribes. Francis Drake, great game. A tier game. On Mars is an absolutely fantastic game that is a real head scratcher. I love, I love how you do your actions, and there comes a moment where you want to decide which side of the board you want to be on, and then there's some times when you play, that's usually 2 or 3 players, where you can just be by yourself, just selecting whatever actions you want to select because everybody else went to the other side of the board. It is a cool game. Easy A tier game. The Gallows, I think, is my favorite Lacerda game. I love it. I love the little easels. I love the interaction and the sort of kick-out mechanic, which I don't think started with this game, but it's definitely my favorite in that mechanic genre. I think it's fantastic. I would give the Gallows an A. Just like On Mars, it's an A tier game. Venus is a long and fairly heavy game, but I guess all Lacerda games are. I just love, I know Viticulture does it too, but this is, to me, one of the OGs, where you have that sort of mechanic where you can sort of age your wine and stuff. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun to play. I wish we played it more. I give Venus a B. It's a B tier game. And next we have Endeavor, Age of Sail. Another game that's fairly, not heavy, but not party game, that plays 5 players pretty well, although we mostly just play it 4. It's really good. I love the upgraded cards that you can get as the game progresses. A lot of fun. I would give this a B tier game. Now we have the complete collection, and I'm not going to pull it out because I don't want to throw my back out for the weekend. We love Everdell. Although I'm being honest, we have the big box collection, and yet we exclusively play, like, I don't even know what the expansion's called, but only one of the expansions. We have all the expansions, we just play one of them. It's a very cute game. I really like it. One of the few anthropomorphic animal games I actually enjoy, aside from Root, I guess. Yeah, it's great. Great game. I give it an A tier game. Dungeon Fighter is my favorite dexterity game of all time. I don't have to flick shit. It's a lot of fun. It's cooperative. You go through this dungeon, and what you're essentially trying to do is you take dice and you sort of bounce them to try to get them into the center of the bullseye. I have a lot of great memories of this one. It plays at a pretty high player count. Yeah, great game. I give this an A tier game. Tiny Towns is a pretty light game where you just, I don't barely remember what it is you're supposed to be doing in Tiny Towns because we just don't play it anymore. I just give this a D. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a D. I don't know why I own this anymore. I should probably sell it because I could barely remember it. Wiz War is just a great beat 'em up game that is in no way balanced. Everything's completely bonkers and broken, and there's tons of like rules collisions where nothing makes sense, and I don't give a shit because it's just so much fun. You just get your friends together. It's a beer and pretzels game. You just beat on each other with all these like cool combination spells, and you try to get the 2 treasure chests, and then you win the game. It's awesome. A tier game. A tier game. Before the weird, like, they have like this newer edition where it just looks ugly. I think this is 8th edition. It's the best one. El Dorado is a really good lighter game that I like to bust out now and then when you have like that perfect player count of mix of people who, maybe they want something that's a little heavier, but they don't want to be too invested. You go through and you try to race through playing your cards and whatnot, and it's just I really enjoy it. I would give this a B tier, probably a high B tier. Good racing game. Terraforming Mars is a brilliant game that I think I have all the expansions. I know I have Prelude. I might not have Venus. Or no, I do have Venus. I just don't use like the weird Venus stuff. I just use the generic cards that come with it. Um, Terraforming Mars is a great game. Easy S tier game. Castles of Burgundy is sort of that lighter version of Suburbia, another game that I really enjoyed that I think is somewhere around here. They should be together, but my Ring collection has like no rhyme or reason. It's just like a hodgepodge of shit just everywhere. The Castles is great. I love that you can sort of like set up the cost in the marketplace for other players and also yourself. It's a nice little twist. And of course, building the castle itself is really enjoyable. And you're just trying to like match various rooms to other rooms, and it's like a lot of color matching and various set collection. Great game. I would give this. Oh, let's go A. I'm gonna be generous. Let's give it an A. I was thinking high B. Let's just give it an A. Wingspan is a game that neither Kim or I really enjoy that much, but we keep it because it seems to go over well with pretty much anybody that we bring over, especially individuals who are like on the fence about board gaming. It's a really good gateway game at this point. Um, I, I don't hate it. I do like it. I think I understand that it's a good game, and I understand why people like it as much as they do. I would give this like a high C tier, maybe. It's decent. And next we have the chess-like game, Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. I have the superior version, of course, with the cool plastic, chunky, big tiles. It's a good game where there's a lot of like bluffing and trying to guess where your opponent put. It's just Stratego. It's Stratego. It's Stratego with some special powers. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's among what Rene Knizia's better games. I would give this probably a high B tier game. Zolkin is a game that came on the scene and everybody thought it was going to be like this super gimmicky thing, but it's not. It's not. It has stayed in the collection. It is a great game. I love the gears. I love that sort of delayed action mechanic. You don't see that a lot in a lot of other worker placement games. And also, I painted all my gears and they are gorgeous and they're pretty. And I'm not going to include B-roll because, like I said before, this video would be way too long to go to edit if I had to put B-roll in every single scene. So this is, yeah, this A tier game. Moonstone is one of the best introductory miniature games you can ever get. If you want to know what it is, check out my What the Hell video where I think I just do Moonstone. It's a great game. It's a fantastic game. You need like a very small army, so it's not like Warhammer. We need like 30, 40 dudes on your map. You just need five. You just need like five guys, and all the characters are super whimsical. The game is light-ish, and it has a lot of mechanics that are like really clever, really clever. A lot of cool bluffing mechanics. Definitely check out the video. This is an S tier game, S tier miniature game. Infinity is a game that I would never recommend to new miniature gamers. This is a game that is very beefy. It has a ton of, this is just a rule book. This is just rule books. A ton of rules, but man, it's amazing. It's an amazing game. It is a game with so many different powers that that's why I say it's really overwhelming for new players. But once you grok it out, once you're able to understand all the rules and how things work together, damn, is it good. It is a brilliant miniature game. I think giving it anything less than an S would sound weird given all my preamble there. Fantastic game, S tier game. If Infinity is one of the best miniature games of all time, Malifaux is the game that I think has my heart. It is the game that I don't think is the best miniature game, but I love it the most. It's wacky, it's just crazy. It's got, again, you're gonna notice a trend with some of these miniature games. It has creativity in the design. It's not just fucking Zombicide where you're going around chucking dice and you'll be like, I'm adding a +1. It's got this really cool card system where you can essentially like cheat and you can bluff, and it's just, oh, it is a brilliant, brilliant game. Another S tier game. I want to make a what the hell video on this one too. I'll get around to it at some point. We have a tendency to do a lot more board games on this channel, even though the channel is essentially a tabletop gaming channel. S tier game. Definitely check it out if you like miniature games. We, of course, have the big box of Wonderland's War. Another great game that I think it's just one of the few area majority games, like, I just have a lot of fun playing. I like all the characters have different powers. I like the rondelle of, like, going around that little tea party and the action selection. It's just really good. It just plays really, really well, and there's a lot of moments where, like, some of the characters and, like, the guys that you can draft are really powerful, and it has everybody at the table being like, "Oh, what the hell? I didn't know he could do that thing." Really good game. A tier game. This is evergreen. We have every single expansion that's ever been made. Everything's in this box. It is a good game. I like it. I don't like it as much as photosynthesis, but it is a good game. I don't like that you don't get to block other people's trees from the sun, but this is fun. It's very solitary, but it is a fun little puzzle that it's asking you to do, and it still has that cool sun mechanic and shadow. I would still I give this a high B. It is a B tier game. I have bought the newest version of Fury of Dracula for almost every iteration. I think I even own the original, and this one has been played, I think, once. Not because it's not a good game. It is a great game. It's so damn long. It's so hard to get to the table, but it is a hell of a lot of fun when it does get played. I would give Fury of Dracula, oh, I feel pain to give it a B. So I don't want to say high B. I'm going to just go A. Screw it. I'm going A. It's a low A, but it's an A tier game. And next up is Game of Thrones, the board game. Absolute brilliant game where there's just tons of like these temporary alliances and backstabbing people. And everything about this game, I just really enjoy. I wish we played it more, but again, I don't know what happened, but I don't know if I've lost a bunch of friends who used to play these styles of games, but it feels like we don't play these like cool dudes getting together and drinking a beer and eating pretzels and shit and beating each other to a pulp games. Yeah, it's a great game though. I would give it's an A tier game. A tier game. Eldritch Horror is a great game that I've used to replace Arkham Horror. I sort of like the jet setting around the world a bit more than I like Arkham Horror. We don't play it much these days, but I'm hoping to get to the table again eventually. It's a storyteller game essentially where the story itself, the narrative is a little random, but it is fun. It is fun sort of dealing with all the bullshit that that seems to crop up all over the place because it's a cooperative game. I would give Eldritch Horror, I'm gonna go B tier game. I think Cosmic Encounter might be the de facto 5-player thematic game. I love all the alien powers and how wacky and unbalanced they all feel. I love the temporary alliance that happened in this game and the constant backstabbing and ganging up on certain players. It's a blast. We have so many fond memories of this game. I couldn't give it anything other than an S tier. Kickstarter is like a quality gateway game that just like nobody talks about, and yet it's really, really good. It's a game that I've had in my collection for a very long time. You can see I have the older edition, not the newest one. I think the newest one is, I think it's ugly. I think this one's much prettier. It's basically like you roll your dice, then you put your dice out, and you get to gather resources, and essentially after that you build structures and stuff, all to get victory points. It's fun. The dice are chunky. It's a beautiful game. I would give this a B tier game, high B. Sushi Roll is a very cute game where you're essentially drafting these dice to form, I don't know, cute sushi rolls and stuff. Kim likes it a lot more than I do, but I do think it's a good game. I would give this like a high C. High C. Paper Tales is one of those games that hits my table a lot. We have the only expansion, I think it's the only expansion. I like a lot about this game. I like the sort of battle system where you lay out the 2 cards in the front, 2 cards in the back, and you do battle with the person to your left and the person to your right. It's very swingy though. There's certainly cards that are just like significantly better than other cards, but I do think it's a really good like in between filler game. I would give Paper Tales a high B tier game. Now, I don't have the expansion for Furnace. Let me know in the comment section if it's something that's worth getting. But this is just so brilliant. I really enjoy playing this game. Even though it's like super light and the decision space is relatively limited, I just really like it. And it's very rewarding, and there's a lot of moments where you feel pretty clever for, purposely losing a bid just to get the resources, or outbidding a person at the right moment, or, just like comboing everything perfectly so that by the end of the game you have almost no resources left over. I would give this, I want to say yes. I'm going to give it a high A. A tier game. High A tier game. Next up is one of my favorite deduction games, Cryptid. I won't go too much into this game because if you want a better explanation of this, you're better off watching our top 8 deduction games. It's done really poorly. Not many people have watched it, but we put a lot of effort into it, and I promise you it's really good. This is, I would give this an A. This is, like I said, it's my favorite deduction game. I give it an A tier game. so many iterations of Undaunted. I think this one is my favorite. I've played them all so far. I'm going to be playing the one this year so I can tier rank it at the end of the year. Um, it's cool. It's a cool light game that I can bust out for anybody. Kim hates it, unfortunately, but my other friends enjoy it. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's really fun. I love how, like, despite the fact that it's all somewhat abstract, you still get kind of attached to your soldiers because they have little names and little descriptions and stuff. And when they die, you're like, no, Jonathan. It's a good game. I would give Undaunted an, I want to say low S, high A, high A tier, high A tier. And next is Arcs. I am one of the people who really likes Arcs. I know a lot of people seem to hate it. I'm not a big trick-taking fan, but the way it implements in this game is enjoyable. It is another game that Kim will not touch with a 10-foot pole, but I really love it. You get to beat people up. It's wicked. You get to put people's stuff into prison. Yeah, it can be a little swingy sometimes, but that's kind of what I want sometimes. Sometimes I just want to beat people in the face and just have a fun. I think Arcs provides it. I would give Arcs, I'm gonna go A. High A tier game. Can you believe it? I own Root and not a single expansion. I probably should buy like one, but just we don't play Root a lot because it's one of those games that I feel like needs 4 to be functional and to play well. I like it. It's a good war game, lighter war game. I don't have to say anything about Root. Most people who enjoy Root, they watch like channels that are just exclusively dedicated to Root. I would give Root low A. I'm gonna go high B. No, I'm gonna go, no, B. I'm just gonna go B. I give Root a B. I wish I played it more, but it is what it is. The Manhattan Project, I know, has been replaced for a lot of people by, I think, Energy Empire. I just prefer this one. I prefer this one. I like that all the workers have different powers. I like the way it plays out. I like how tough it can be sometimes when somebody comes and does like a bombing of your plants. I think it's a really great game. We don't play it a lot these days, but we also own like 300 board games. So, that's not really that much for criticism. I think this is a good one. This is my favorite one, and I'd give it a B. It's a B tier game. Flashpoint is a game that I picked up because we were playing a lot of Pandemic in the house and I wanted something that was a little different. And Flashpoint is definitely different, but it's still that cooperative thing where you're just, I was going to say putting fires out metaphorically, but also literally. You're just trying to dealing with stuff. It is a task delegation cooperative where like you don't really interact with other people. You're just sort of being like, I'm the guy who puts out the fires. I'm the guy who drives the fire engine. But it is pretty good for what it does. I would say it's a high C tier game. Pandemic is a game that I am bored of. I don't want to play anymore, but I won't get rid of it because it's one of those games you just have to have in your house, or if people walk in and say, do you own Pandemic? And then when you say no, they're like, they look at you with derision. I don't know. It's fine. It's a fine game. I would give this like a mid C tier. If somebody really wanted to play it, I would, but I won't pull it out. C tier game. And now we move on to the third bookcase, which is a lot of games that I think are, not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty new. Skull is a game I bought when I was on like a party game kick. I wanted to just own as many party games as possible because I realized we don't own tons, despite having 300 board games. And there's the bug. There's a spider on there. He's gone now. I flicked him. Skull is great. It's great. If you've never get a chance to play it, you should. It is a very, very good party game. For party game, I would give Skull. I've only played it once, so I'm gonna go high B, low A, high B, B tier. And next up is Monikers. I have not played Monikers. This is one of the party games that I bought. B? This is one of my favorite Love Letter versions, but I don't like Love Letter that much. I thought this one would be like significantly better, but it's only like marginally better. I'm just not a big Love Letter fan. It always feels very random and pointless. I'm gonna go low C tier game. And next we have Once Upon a Time. Another little game that I don't think you've probably heard of. It's really cool. You're basically just getting together as a group and trying to tell a story, but everybody has their hand of cards, and you try to work in your words to it's a card shedding game basically. And it's kind of cool because you kind of like interact with people telling the story and asking them the questions like, because you want them to say your word. And so you're like, and how big how big was that castle that you're discussing? Because your word might be grand or something. It's cool. It's light. It's silly. I would give a B. It's a B tier game. I don't know if this game is supposed to be played like this, but whenever I busted out with my friends, or at least I used to, I haven't played this in like years and years, and we always went down to stereotypes, like right off the bat. Like, which one is a person you would probably see in a line at a Walmart? And it's just not fun. It's a shitty game. It's a shitty game that I can't even sell. I've put this on the marketplace quite a bit and nobody wants to buy it. It's usual suspects. It's a D. Hive is a game that's well loved by a lot of people. I don't particularly like it that much, but I keep it because the pieces are cool. This is another game that I probably shouldn't be keeping because we don't play it much. Two-player abstract game. You know how Hive is. It's a C tier game. This is turning out to be a relatively ho-hum shelf. The bookshelf should be good. This shelf is not that great. Samurai Sword, I don't remember it. I've owned it for quite some time. I don't remember it anymore. See? Next we have 8-Minute Empire. Legends. 8-Minute Empire is a pretty good game. You put your little cubes out there in the game. It's not done in 8 minutes, but it's done pretty quickly. Not much to talk about. C tier game. My version of Seven Wonders Duel is in shrink wrap, but I do own another copy that's not in shrink wrap. Why do we own 2 copies? I don't remember. I don't remember why that is. But Seven Wonders Duel, it is the best Seven Wonders version. It works really well. I've tried the Lord of the Rings one. It is also very good. Yeah, the Seven Wonders Duel, B tier game, high B. I feel like Pergola was made for those like for the content creators to just say cozy a million times. Because I guess that's what it is. It's not a good game, man. Like this is the kind of game that reminds me. I get like Harvest from last year, Harvest flashbacks. This game where the other people seem to really enjoy, and I don't understand why. It is super light. It doesn't feel like I'm doing literally anything. My actions are there's 3 of the actions of the 4 are more or less exactly the same. There's some of the set collection that you do in this game is the same as other set collection you do in the same game. It's pretty. I'll give it that. But yeah, I don't like this. It's a D tier game. The Initiative is like a cooperative deduction game where you sort of work together to solve a case and you go around and you play cards. And I actually haven't played it yet, so I can't rank it. So this one will be not available ranking. And next is one of Cole's better games, Pax Pamir. Yeah, I think I like this one more than I like Root. I like the subtle alliances that spring up, even though I know you get that in Root too. I think the card play is really well done in this game. I would give this, it's a little long, but I would give this an A tier game. And next we have Astra. Astra is in Shrink. I have never played this game. C tier. Turing was in our best deductive games list. I think deduction games are more Kim's thing, but I do enjoy this one. I think it is pretty clever, sort of, putting them through this sort of analog computer almost. I would give this a B. It's a B tier game. Next is Railroad Tiles. A publisher just sent this to us recently. I plan on playing it tonight when Kim gets home. I know nothing about it right now, so I will not rank it. Gatsby is a game that I've been playing on BGA now and then. It's a mildly clever game. It's decent. It is a 2-player game that is decent. The one thing I hate about I'll go into more detail in a review or something, but the one thing I hate is it has this mechanic where it's almost like a skip your turn mechanic, but you get to dictate what the other player can do. And for some reason, I actually hate that more than I hate like a skip turn mechanics. I haven't played it a ton, so I'm going to give it a low C. But if we keep playing this and I just keep getting more and more irritated, it's going to end up in the D list for the 2025 tier list. Yeah, so C tier game for now. Next is Icar. I have not played this game. We actually just played Iliad this morning. I've only played 1 game. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. Reiner Knizia has so many different games. He has 700 games. And at some point, sometimes you sit down to play one of his games and you feel like, I've played this before. But this one it's pretty clever. You sort of compete by placing down tiles to sort of win out the row or the column that it's been placed at. And you have to collect all 5 or 6 of the different gods. It's a B tier game. B tier game. We've only played this once. In trying to find the best deduction board game, we ended up buying a bunch. This is one of the ones we bought. We've played it once. It hurts my eyeballs, but it is cool. I mean, it's like finding Waldo, basically. It's a C tier game. It's a C tier game. It's really novel though. It's a clever idea, but it's a C tier game. And on the next shelf, we have Black Rose Rebirth. It is a fantastic game. It reminds me a lot of Wiz War. It is wonky. It doesn't. I've only played it. I haven't played it that much, but the amount I have played of it, it feels a little. It feels imbalanced for now. It is a hard slog to get through rules wise, but it is a game that I'm having a lot of fun with, and it plays fantastically at 4, just like Wiz War. I would give this. I'm going to sit at an A. It's an A tier game. Now, my copy of this game is still in shrink, but that is because I was playing it on Steam, I was enjoying it, and I thought I should own this game. So I bought it, but I haven't taken it out of shrink yet. I've still been playing it on Steam, but I will delete it from my tabletop simulator workshop thingy, and I'll just play here. So far, I am digging it. I'm trying to play as many solo games as I can. I would like to make a solo list, and after doing that solo gaming video, I've been wanting to explore that side of the hobby a bit more. This is a pretty good one. This is a pretty good one. I'm sitting right now at like a high B, but we'll see where that goes. And next we have My Father's Work. Another game still in shrink. This one I haven't played yet, but I have plans to play it, I think this weekend. I don't know a ton about it. I just know it sounded very cool, and I wanted to go through and rank all the best thematic board games, and this is the one that people suggested a lot. It's long. It looks long as hell, so it's going to be one of those games that's probably just like, this is the game that you play that night and then nothing else. I'm looking forward to it. Roth is a game we picked up at Gen Con after demoing it. I thought it looked really cool. I like a lot of chip theory games because they don't use like cardboard. Everything looks like really not high class, but like the components are really good because they're like chips and like cloth maps and shit. This one looks like a pretty good area control game. I'm hoping to get this played sometime this month. Yeah, no rating right now. Kinfire Council. This is another game we picked up at Gen Con that I have not yet played, but I'm really excited to play because the other Kinfire games, they didn't really interest me, although I should probably play a few of them. But this one did. This one did. It looked like a really interesting worker placement game. So I'm hoping to get this played somewhat soon. Just another one of those like 2025 releases that I have to play eventually so I could do like the end of the year tier list. I'm excited about this one. And next we have Earthborn Rangers. So this is the start of what's going to be a lot of, you're going to see this a lot of these like big campaign games that I have that I am currently all playing at the exact same time. I do not recommend this. There's a few, I'll mention them when they pop up, but ISS Vanguard is actually another one. I have been playing this. It's decent so far. No, it's good. It's good so far. I'm hoping it gets better. I'm playing this one by myself. I should try to play with Kim a few times just so I get a better sense of the game because I don't know if it's like a solitary experience. But so far, I'm feeling B. I feel like it's a B tier game. And now we have ISS Vanguard. Another game that is in shrink that I actually have played before. I just played it on Tabletop Simulator. And like Earthborn, this is one of these games where I'm trying to get through, but I will stop playing a Tabletop Simulator. Don't worry, I'll play the physical copy. So far, so good. I feel it's a little too early to rank. I'm thinking B tier, but yeah, I'm not going to rank it at all, I don't think. Arkham Horror the card game is a game where a lot of users were like, I don't like that you don't like this game, so start liking it. And so I got another set, and I bought an expansion, and it has improved things. The base set by itself I found really boring, but the expansion that I'm playing now and the extra base set has made it better. I would still say it's not great. It's a B tier game. B tier game. Are you happy now? Next is a game that I can't seem to sell for the life of me, Viceroy. This is a game that you're building like a pyramid with these tiles and you're getting resources, and it's abstract as all hell, and I don't want to own it anymore, but nobody wants to buy it, so whatever. It's not bad. It's not a bad game. It's like a low C. I would say a low C tier game. And next is one of the Valeria games, Card Kingdoms. So remember when I said early in the video when I was trying to find like the perfect Machikaro replacement? This is another one of them. This is another one of them that I picked up. I like this one better than a lot of the other ones, but it's not that great. This one's all card based. Well, I guess almost all of them are card based. It's a good game. It's good. B tier game. Next is a game you never heard of, The Big Book of Madness. This is a cute little cooperative game where you're working together as mages to cast spells and shit. It's pretty decent. I would give it like high C tier. I've talked about this game quite a bit on this channel. It is a deceptively mean game that I really enjoy. I think the Dice Tower got it all wrong. I put it in their comment section that they got it wrong. So it got to be you guys, when you guys yell at me for getting the game wrong, I get to do that for the Dice Tower. Because I think there's a lot of interaction here, and I really love the placing out your Vikings and blocking people off. I just find it really enjoyable. Even like the collecting the tiles and sort of that spatial puzzle that you're asked to do. I think it's a good game. I would give this an A. Low A, but an A. And next we have Detectives, City of Angels. I have only played half of this game. It was going on a little too long and we had to end the evening, so we had to stop. But from what I've seen so far, it's just cool as hell. It is a cool as hell game. I too soon to rank it, but I am enjoying it. I love the film noir setting. There's a lot of mechanics in here that I think are pretty cool. I find it telling like first of all, I like that it's adult orientated. I'm a little sick of these constant churning of like family game slop that seems to come in this hobby. It's nice to get games that focus on subjects that are a bit touchy. Yeah, no rating yet, but good so far. Next is Brink. This is another pickup from Gen Con that I actually don't know a ton about. Somebody at the convention that we were talking to for quite some time just said, you gotta play Brink, you gotta own Brink, it's amazing. So we made sure to go and acquire it. It does sound cool. It sounds like a heavier worker placement game with, I think, variable powers between all the workers that you have, which I'm always a sucker for. So obviously I can't rank it right now, but this will be another one of those games where I will have ranked by the end of the year. So not available right now. Next is everybody's starter miniature game, HeroScape. HeroScape is a game that was given to us by the publisher. They'd messaged me about my father's work, and I was like, hell yeah, send that over. I'm enjoying it so far on Steam. And then he's like, do you want HeroScape? And I said, no, I don't. I don't really like HeroScape, or at least I didn't. You know, if this one has been like revised to be much better than the original, I'll give it a shot. And he was like, yeah, it's better. I'm going to send it to you. So I haven't played it yet. We will see. We'll see if I think it's better. So for now, not available. And we are back on the floor because I want to destroy my body. And next we have Iridia. So Iridia is another game that I'm not going to pick up because it's absolutely gigantic. I think it's the biggest, heaviest game I own. It is another one of these campaign games that I'm going through all at the same time. Again, I do not recommend this. So far, so good. Too soon to rank. And next is one of the best games of this year, Galactic Cruise. I don't have the expansion for this. Let me know if it's worth getting, but right now I'm really digging the hell out of Galactic Cruise. It does feel like a Lacerda game. It's got that like cool kick-out mechanic. The gameplay loop, I am worried because we've played it like 3 times, and I'm a little worried that it's going to get repetitive. Just, you know, the whole like, you know, send your guys to space, get stuff. Okay, do this, get stuff. But so far I'm digging the hell out of it. I do think so far it is the best game of 2025, but we'll see. There's still like half a year to go through. So for now, I'm sitting at a high A, low S. I'm in a good mood, S tier. We bust out Escape almost all of the time. When it doesn't matter if it's new players, experienced players, who cares? It's just a simultaneous game that is a ton of fun to play. It's one of the few cooperative games Kim really loves. I love it too. I've been meaning to try Project Elite because every time I mention Escape, people say go play Project Elite, but I haven't played that yet. But this one it's a great game. I would give it an A tier. Next is Skyrise. Skyrise is another great game from last year, 2024, that I really enjoy. I think it's one of the few auction games that I actually like to play because it feels like there's more than just the auction itself, despite the fact that it is pretty much a pure auction game. Simply because you're bidding on a variety of things, and oh no, more importantly, you have a choice in your bidding. Right? Usually it's just like, here's this piece of art, bid on this piece of art. Here it's like you get to bid on the areas surrounding the last bid place, and I find that choice to be really engaging. Kim Fran hates this game. I don't care. I'm going to keep it. It's a great 4-player game. I would give this an A tier game. River of Gold is like a really chill game where you sail your ship down this river, and you get lots of resources basically, and you can purchase the buildings that provide those resources, which means that you can get a bonus if somebody else sails to that area, along with themselves getting a bonus. And so you have this like really cool like almost semi-cooperative nature to the game. I enjoy it. I'm having some good amount of fun with it. It is another game where I think it's going to be one of my go-to gateway games for a lot of people, at least for the foreseeable future. I would give River of Gold a low A, high B. I'm going to go low. I'm going to go A. I'm going to go A. A tier game. Between Two Cities is a good game, not a great game. It is one that I bust out when I have 5 players. You could see, I don't know if you notice a theme. A lot of times I'll keep games that I think are just kind of good because they play 5 players really well. This is one of them. It's not a deep game. You know, you are just sort of drafting or drafting these like tiles, but it is kind of cool because you're building your cities with a partner to your left and a partner to your right. It's a cool, creative mechanic that I don't see in a lot of other games. But Between Two Cities, I would give, I'm going to give a high C. High C to Between Two Cities. So we got Andromeda's Edge because we like Dwellings a lot and we were told that this is a better version. I think this is a better version. Kim likes Dwellings, so we actually ended up keeping both. But I do prefer this one, even though it is a bear to get to the table and a bear to set up. Holy hell, is a pain in the ass to set up. But I think it just does what Dwellings does significantly better. I would give Andromeda's Edge low S tier. S tier game. And next is his predecessor, Dwellings of Eldervale. Like I said, this is Kim's favorite version. I think it's still really good. It holds up. I don't shy away from playing it when Kim suggests it. I would give this an A tier. It is an A tier game. And now we move on to the other 3 bookshelves on the opposite side of the wall and start at the top. First, we have Castle Combo. I have raved about this game for a lot of different videos. I think it's a light game that is absolutely brilliant. I love how there's the different scoring mechanisms for each individual card. All the cards are unique. A lot of the scoring mechanics are fairly clever considering this is a very light card game. I like the mild interaction in that, you know, I can try to suss out what you're going to try to draft and make sure that I bring the little dude down one step so that you have to draft it on a row that you don't want to be on. It's a great game, and it's one of the few light games that I would actually give an S tier to. I really like Castle Combo. For Shuffle, I feel it was a game that I was wrong about. When I first ranked this, I think I ranked it pretty low, but then I played it 2 players and I was like, holy shit, this is significantly better. For Shuffle is a fantastic game that I love to play. It's only at 2 players. I love building little forests and all the different ways you can score. It's really easy to explain. Yes, the end game scoring is a complete pain in the ass to get through, but I think it's worth it for Forest Shuffle, and I can get a game done in like 30 minutes or sometimes 40. I think this is a high A tier game. Great game. Next, we have the Veil of Eternity. I actually just recently got the expansion for this game, so I'm pretty excited to give it a try, but the base game itself is good. It is good. There's something just really fun and satisfying about that resource management that you have to engage in this game. Yeah, the card tableau building is fine. The combos that you do is fine. But I like that resource management where it's like, okay, you only have 4 little resource tokens, so make the best of it and what you will. I would give this A tier game. As I said earlier in the video, I have replaced Azul more or less with Azul Duel. I think it's much better at 2 players. It adds a little bit of extra stuff without overcomplicating things. And what it adds a decent amount of depth and new ways that I can screw over Kim when I play with her. She won't play with me, but I like this game. I would give this a B, a high B, B tier game. We got this game because we really like the crew. It's a pretty fun cooperative game that you can play relatively quickly. I think this, if you like the crew, you'll probably like this game. I don't think this game will convince you if you don't like that style of games. It adds enough mechanics that it keeps it unique and differentiates itself from the crew. But as it stands, I would give this a B tier game. Paladins is my favorite of the Shem Phillips and McDonald duo. I really enjoy it, even though a lot of times I'm keenly aware that it's just like a get resources game where you're just like constantly getting more and more resources. But I don't know, there's something about the simplicity of that Paladins mechanic where you're deciding what card you want to play for your current round, your future round, and what card you may never play at all at the start of every turn. It's fun. It's good. I would give Paladins a high B tier. Coconuts is a fun dexterity game that I don't want to play, but Kim makes me play now and then because she tells whenever we have new guests, she's like, "You gotta see this game called Coconuts," and then I gotta take it out and we gotta show it to them, and they gotta have fun, and they want to make me play it over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's good. It is good. You put your little coconut in the it's beer pong. It's beer pong with a little monkey. You flip the little monkey things, and his hands will go up like this, and he flips it into cups. It's good. It was B tier game. Next, we have X-Wing, the miniature game. This is a game that I saw being played at every board game cafe everywhere. Somehow, a miniature game managed to break the mass market. It was everywhere, and then all of a sudden, it was nowhere. The second edition came out, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because of the second edition, it just disappeared. It is still a great game. I would give this a solid A. I have not upgraded anything I own. Let me know if it's worth it or if it just I'm one of those people that abandon it. And I don't know why, because like you can just play older versions of miniature games. But for whatever reason, I give up. But it is good. It's a really good game. A tier game. I feel like Cascadia set off this trend of like light-ish, abstract animal type games because you're going to see a lot in my collection. But Cascadia is one of the better ones. I do really enjoy this one, especially at 3 players. It's satisfying. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Good game. I would high B. Let's go high B. High B tier. Next up is World's Fair. I don't like this game. I don't remember this game. I just remember not liking it. I've tried to sell it. I can't. Nobody buys it. D tier. How about some Nexus Ops? I have the old Avalon Hill box. It's ugly and yellow, and I love it. I have not upgraded it. Let me know in the comment section if it's worth upgrading, like if there's new mechanics or something. But I kind of like this one because it glows in the dark. It is a great beat 'em up that I don't get to play very often, but when I do, I have a lot of fun. I would say this is a high B tier. Race for the Galaxy is, of course, a contemporary classic. Just a really good 2-player game. I don't play it with more than 2 players anymore. I only have, like, I think Alien Artifacts and I think maybe one other expansion. I should get more because I do enjoy it. I would give Race for the Galaxy, this is going to be blasphemy for some people, but I would go high B tier. Good game. And next we have Sons of Anarchy. This game and Spartacus are some of the best TV to board games on the market. I don't think nobody talks about this, but it is a great worker placement game. With some crazy wicked like in your face interaction where you're like getting people beat up and stuff and removing people's workers. It's awesome. It's cutthroat. I would give it high B tier. And next we have Kings of Air and Steam. I don't really like this game. It's fine. It's another delivery type game. I don't know. C tier. Raptor is a decent 2-player game that at some point I just kind of got bored of. Like I just didn't want to play it anymore. We were playing it quite a bit and then that was enough. I feel like this game would inspire a list of or more like a rant on games that I think have a limited amount of times you want to play it until you just want to get rid of it. And yeah, it would be high up there. It's fine. It can be really punishing sometimes when you're just not given the cards that you need and it feels like you just lost from the start. At this point, I would give it a C. It's Carcassonne. It's a high B. It's a B. It's a classic. This is one of the original games in my collection. I don't think, yeah, look at it's like mint condition. Damn. I take such good care of my games, and it's not even in shrink. Yeah, it's a B tier game. It's Carcassonne. You know it. And you know how good it is. Whatever. You either own it or you don't own it. If you don't own it, you're silly. Food Chain Magnet is a fantastic game that Kim really loves. It takes a really long time to play. It is a hit and miss game for a lot of people. People seem to love it or they seem to hate it. We are in the love camp. It is very cutthroat where it can be a little irritating because it does kind of feel almost chess-like in that there seems to be like this set amount of opening moves that you're supposed to do. There's like 3 of them. And that can be a little boring. I heard that the expansion fixes that, but the expansion is like $100. So I don't know if we'll ever get it. But it is a really good game. I would give this an A tier game. Steam Park is a game that nobody talks about, but it's a pretty decent gateway game. It's very cute. You're building a little theme park and you're attracting, I think, robot guests to your park. It's pretty abstract despite the fact that it tries really hard to have a theme, but it's decent. I'm going to give it a high C. Next up is a game you've never heard of, Kemble's Cascade. The only reason I have this game is because I love the mechanic of like the sort of Gattaca traveling through space, and the board sort of like shifts as you move up. So it does feel like you're moving through space. That's the only reason I keep this. I should probably just sell it. I would say low C. Time for the racing game nobody talks about anymore, Formula D. Yeah, I know everybody sort of just got rid of Formula D for the new hotness and heat, but I still kind of like Formula D. It's fun. It's just a light dice chucking racing game. We almost never play with the other side. I know you can like soup up your car and shit. We don't care. It's good for what it is. I would give it like high C. Icefall is a game that's pretty cool. Like you want to just get to the other side and get victory points for landing in certain spaces with your little adventure dudes. And as you move, you there's like these glaciers that sort of move down the map, and what you want to do is like, this is why I think I like it, is there's a polar bear that can come after you, and so you want to throw fish at the polar bear closer to other people so that they attack them. That's the reason I like it. That's the reason Kim doesn't like it. I would give this low B tier. Next up is Thunderstone. I apologize for that. This is Thunderstone. Everything is in here. This box is very heavy. It is a deck builder that I never play anymore because it takes way too much time. But when Dominion was king, I liked playing Dominion too. But at some point I discovered Thunderstone and I was like, I just want to play Thunderstone. I don't want to play Dominion anymore. But it has fallen out of favor. I would say high C tier at this point. How about another Vlada game? Dungeon Lords. A lot of people say Dungeon Pets is better. I don't know if I've played Dungeon Pets. I think I have, and I played it on Steam. But I like Dungeon Lords because it sort of reminded me of Dungeon Keeper, which is an old video game by Bullfrog Entertainment, which I played on the PC all the time. It is a good worker placement game that I almost never play anymore, but I would still give this a low B tier game. Fast is one of these games that I really like the idea of, but I never bring to the table because I don't want to explain to people what the different powers are that everybody does. So it's a game that just sort of sits in my collection doing nothing. It's not a bad game. I would give this like a high C tier. So Mysterium is a game that I got because I sort of gravitated away from Dixit. I like Dixit, but I wanted something more. And so I played this for a while, and my friends and I really enjoyed it. And then after some time, we just stopped playing it. And I didn't want to introduce it to new people because I felt it was too much to sort of explain, when at its core, it's a fairly light game. I like the cleverness. I like the uniqueness of trying to describe paintings and stuff. It's cool. I would give it a high C tier at this point. I've talked about Nemesis quite a bit on this channel. It's a brilliant game. It's one of the few like trader games I really love. I like all the stories that it sort of generates. While other games are sort of having you like read cards with shitty writing, this game is just like, the story is the mechanics. The story is the thing that you tell your friends about and you laugh about. Like, remember the time that I, sent you into the airlock because you just looked at me funny? It's just good. I would give Nemesis an S tier game. S tier game. I have now played some of the newer ones. I still think this is the best one. Sherlock Holmes is a pretty good deduction game that feels unlike any other game because partially it's not even a game. Like I just said about reading stories, in this one you really are just reading a story. But it is unique and it is fun. I do encourage you not to worry about what Sherlock scores because he will punish you, and it will feel like he's not really, it's really magic. He's just magic. He just goes around solving cases using like Harry Potter magic shit. So just don't worry about that. Just have fun with it. Enjoy the experience. I would say Sherlock is a B tier game. Good B tier game. The Cave is a game that I got in Germany. It's all in German. The rule book I had to read on a PDF online. It is a decent game. Not one I'll probably ever play again. But it's decent. Like, you go around this cave and you're sort of exploring, flipping over tiles, collecting certain resources for points. It's fine. C tier game. So Barrage is a game that I over time forced myself to like. I did not like it the first like 2 plays, but I think that's because it's very unforgiving, and if you don't understand what's going on, you're probably going to have a bad time. But it is a game that is up my alley. It is very mean. As it is right now, where it is sitting, it started out very low. I would say it's now in a high B tier. I'm hoping to get it played some more. It's tough because I feel like it's a game that requires 4 players to even like bother bringing it to the table, but it is a good, mean, tight game. B tier. Hegemony is a fantastic game. One of the few games that, like, without any flavor text, without like telling you that you're this character that does this, you end up role playing to some extent, you know, like you go through the game. If you're the capitalist and you just want to, like, you don't care about the working class, you kick them while they're down, and you don't care about the government, you curse the government out, and you just want to buy more and more businesses. It's just a really, really great game that I love, and I think I would give an S tier game. Captain Sonar is probably the best party game in my collection that almost never gets played because it demands 8 players. But damn, when I have 8 players, oh, you best believe I'm bringing this out. It is a fantastic, fantastic game. I love that, like, everybody's doing their own little mini game, and you all feel like part of this bigger group, you know, and everybody's yelling shit out and like worrying and getting anxious that the enemy is gonna sink your sub. It's tense, it's cool, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody's always laughing. Captain Sonar is an S tier party game. Now we gotta do some more miniature gaming with Walking Dead All Out War. I got this game because I wanted a game that I could play cooperatively that was a miniature game, and I think at that point I hadn't heard of Fallout Wasteland. Um, this game is good. It's not great. It has that heroic scale miniature where all the miniatures are like regular looking people, but then their heads are gigantic, which I understand is easy to paint, but I don't like that aesthetic. For a miniature game, I would give this a high C. Next is the best Game of Thrones game, the card game. I love this game. I only love it at 4 players. I know most people play it too. I don't care. I think it's a brilliant 4-player game with a lot of back and forth and temporary alliances and the freaking backstabbing. And I love that, like, before every round, you have to select the sort of almost like the power that you have for the turn. And it's one of the few games where, like, it's like a collectible card game that I don't, or sorry, a living card game where I'm not really interested in building decks. I actually just go online and I find the most thematic deck and I just build that basically. So I own a lot of this game. Yeah, it's brilliant. I would say it's an S tier game. S tier game. This is a relatively recent game to us, and yet I think it's found a place in our hearts as being like just a fun game to bust out like at the end of the night. Me and Kim, like, we don't, not big dexterity fans, but we don't want to flick shit. I hate flicking shit. Well, that's probably more me than her. But it's one of the few dexterity games that I would describe as sort of almost laid back because you're just gently pushing. You're gently pushing your wrestler into the arena, hoping to knock out the other opponent's sumo wrestlers. It's cool. It's cool. It's got lots of powers, and the powers are pretty creative. I think we only have one expansion, but it is probably a game that we're going to seek out other expansions. It's a good game. I would give this an A tier game. Survive is a game that I think has been around since the early 80s. I don't know if this edition is anything similar to that old edition, but it is a great family game. I really, really enjoy it. Primarily because it's mean, and so it's one of these games I'm going to keep around and hopefully introduce to our future kids to give them a lesson in the cruelness of the world as I send my whale to destroy their ship filled with all their men, all their high value men. I'll be a good dad. A tier. How about some Elder Sign? Bro, I barely remember this game. I bought it because I wanted to chuck some dice and I like Lovecraft stuff. The C tier game. Next is one of my go-to social deduction games, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. This is a game that I think Kim has warmed up to, but she initially started hating. I will bust this out because everybody just has a good time, but she's always such a curmudgeon because I don't think she doesn't understand what she's supposed to do in any given turn. Because I think she's just like, I don't want to lie and I don't want to do this or that. It's fun. It's fun sort of like almost framing other people for the murder that you've committed in a fairly abstract way. In terms of social deduction, as far as those games go, this is near the top. I would put this, I'd say A tier game. Fairy Ring is a game that is really new to us, and yeah, I just think it's so cute. I really like it. I like the interaction. It's a lighter game, but you essentially just like you play a card in your own tableau, and that moves your fairy along. And when your fairy lands on other people's mushrooms, they get something, you get something. Lots of cool interaction and a lot of sort of mathing things out and being like, okay, if I play this card, it'll land on this flower, and then other people can mess that up. Yeah, I really like it. I don't know what my feelings will be on this game in the future, but for now, as a light, heavy interaction game, I would go A. I'd go low A, fair tier, low A. The OG, the original Settlers of Catan, complete with like tons of fray. I have played this game a ton, a ton. I think it was like almost 20 years ago. We were living all together, me and my friends, and we gathered in this solarium and discovered this new hobby of board gaming. We played in our little I think it's called a solarium, and we played this game tons. We played this game into the early mornings. It was just so much fun. I am not somebody who just hates on this game now that there's other games that I suppose are better. I still think Catan is a good game, and I would give it a high C primarily because maybe a low B because it's one of those OG Euro games that has a ton of interaction, just a ton. I don't know what happened in Euro design where like we've just sort of abandoned, like actually engaging with the people sitting around us. But every mechanic of this game is interactive. Yeah, screw it, low B, Catan, low B. Concept is a very cool party game where you place out this little token thing and you're trying to make people guess what you need them to guess. You've seen this concept a few times before in other games, but I think it's done pretty cleverly here. As far as party games go, I would put this at a high C tier game. Next, we have a game that blows, CV. I can never sell this game because it's entirely in German. I don't like it. I think it's a D tier game and I'll be stuck with it forever. It is the albatross I wear around my neck. Yeah, it sucks. Detashi is a game that I really wanted to like. It's very colorful. There was a few mechanics I thought were interesting, but it felt so flat. I would give this like a mid-C. It's fine. Wits and Wagers, not much I have to say about this. You've seen this in Walmart all over the place. It's a good game, great party game. I would give this probably low B, high C. Let's go high C tier game. Next up is Exoplanets. I do not remember Exoplanets. I think it was okay. I'm going to go C tier. Cubitos or Cabutos, I don't know. There's a Spanish gentleman who was in our comment section who corrected me, and I forget what he gave me. He gave me the correct pronunciation. Sorry, Spanish guy. I don't like this game. Kim loves this game. My friends love this game. I can never get rid of it. It just annoys me. It's one of those games where people just get out and lead so bloody quickly, and you're just kind of like, I see you later. I guess I'm just gonna be stuck here doing absolutely nothing. It's cute. I wanted to love it. I don't. Low C tier. Spearland Island is one of the few cooperative games that is very heavy and actually feels like you're cooperating rather than just like working alongside somebody. I love the individual player powers and how unique they are and how you gain more player powers as you progress, as you sort of like build out your character and get stronger as you're beating back the invaders. It is an awesome game. I would put this at a high A tier game, high A tier rank. Heroes is a very weird game. It's sort of like this like card battling, dice chucking real-time game. It's fine. There's games that do this a lot better, and it tried to be too much, and it didn't excel at any one thing it was trying to be. A C tier game. So Lanterns is a fairly charming game where you lay out these tiles and you're trying to collect points by connecting similar colored lantern pieces together. It's fine. There's nothing to write home about. I don't know why it's still in my collection. We never play it. But it's a C. It's a C tier game. Low C, but a C. How about some 1960 Making of the President? This is the game that I got to replace Twilight Struggle. But what I learned is that you can't replace Twilight Struggle. But this is a good game, and it is one of the better entries in that sort of genre, I think. It does benefit from knowing the deck, because in any of these types of games, it's just better to have an idea of what's going to come and what could possibly be in your opponent's hand. But this is a good one. It's a good push and pull and trying to gain votes all across the United States. Very cool game. A tier 2-player game. And next we have Quarriors. This is a lie. This is not Quarriors. This is actually Marvel Dice something or other. The Marvel version of Quarriors. I don't even remember what the game is because it's forgettable. This was really popular for a while and I got a lot of stuff. I think I bought most of it from eBay. That's why I don't have boxes. And it just fell flat after some time. And I just ended up going back to Quarriors, even though that's also a game that nobody really talks about anymore. Yeah, Marvel Dice Masters? Marvel Dice Masters. That's the name of the game. Low C tier. And next is the coffin box version of Tories. I have the older version that comes in a very hard to manage giant box, but it is still a good game. Great abstract game where you essentially like building up these towers. Another one of these games, I feel like I'm saying this a lot in this video. Once you get a collection, it starts ballooning way past it should. Like, nobody needs 300 games. I think that's what we have, 315 games. And yeah, this is one of the games that just doesn't get played, but it is a good high C tier game. And the final game on this bookshelf, Twilight Imperium 3rd edition. I know the people in the comment section have said, you gotta upgrade to 4th edition. I know it's better. I hear you. I hear you. I just, fuck, dudes, I don't want to spend $240 on a board game that I know I play probably only like once every like 2 years. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I should. Look at this one. This one has dust on it. That's how long it's been. It is an S tier game. It is a fantastic game. It's just, it is one of those things that tells a story and is incredibly difficult to get to the table. But when it hits that table, it is an event, man. It is like the Super Bowl. It is tons of fun. Great game, S tier. And we move on to the next bookshelf, which I think is a little more orderly. These next two bookshelves, I think you'll find more aesthetically pleasing. And we start with The Fox in the Forest. Really good trick-taking game where you're laying down your cards and you're trying to like, you're winning the tricks, but you don't want to win too many of them because then you're greedy and you lose points. So you're gonna get this like cool thing you can, well, I'm just gonna be honest, it's a trick-taking game where you can be a little mean and you can try to force people to win things they're not gonna want to win. And it's pretty good. I would say low B tier. And next we have Coup. This is sort of like one of my go-to bluffing games, or sort of social deduction games that I like to play. It's just fun to see everybody sort of like lie and say that they're is it the ambassador or is it the captain that gets like 4 gold, or is it the sailor? I don't remember. But everybody just lies all the time when I play this game, except for Kim. That's why she never wins. But it is a good game. Yeah, low B tier, low B tier game. I own both Welcome to the Dungeon games. I think they're cool. I think they're one of the few games that plays in 15 minutes that I actually kind of enjoy playing. I would rate this at a B tier. It's a B tier game. If you ever see it, definitely give it a buy. I don't think it's very expensive. It's like 12 or 15 bucks, at least when I bought it. Yeah, it's a good game. Stellar Conflict is a game I got suckered into buying at a convention because it looked fun. It was just like people like randomly like racing around and like just grabbing shit from the table. It looked like a blast. I don't play it. I played it a few times after I got it from the convention. Now I just don't play it at all. C tier. I really like this game. I like this a lot more than other people seem to like it. I just feel it's like this fantastic filler game where you're just trying to make the perfect hand. And all the Marvel heroes have like powers which are kind of like, they're pretty flavorful. Like they seem to fit the actual heroes themselves. And that's for a light game, that's pretty good accomplishment. I put Marvel Remix in an A tier. For a light game, I think it's really good. And next up is one of 2 versions of The Crew. So it doesn't really matter which crew I pull out. They're both pretty much the same. I think I prefer Mission Deep Sea more than the space one, but they're both good and worth owning if you like this style of like trick-taking cooperative experience. I hate trick-taking games, but I seem to like this one. A lot of the missions, there's a lot of creativity in the missions, despite the fact that you're not really doing much, and I appreciate that. I would give the Crew a solid B tier. And next up is Bang the Dice game. I always wanted to own Bang. It was one of those things I saw in the Dice Tower advertised by Sam Healy all the time. And then I decided to buy Samurai Sword instead, which you saw earlier in the video. And it's not that good. And I bought Bang the Dice game and it's not that good either. So now I just have both. I just have both games. And neither of them are very good. This is like a low C tier game. Fun Employed is, of course, a party game where you're trying to sell your skills that are in no way applicable to the job that you're applying for. It requires a very specific group, but when you get that group that's fun, that likes a little like role playing and like improv, I guess, like theater kids. If you know some theater kids, this would be a good game to play with them. As a party game, I would say this is a B tier game. It's a B tier party game. Yeah, Citadels is an absolute classic. It's got those Werther's Original candies inside the box and you're trying to get as many as you can to win the game. But the crux of the game and what I enjoy the most is, of course, like trying to suss out what role everybody has taken. And I've got to say, I've gotten to the point where I'm very good at just knowing what every role people have taken. It is still a damn good game. I'd give this a B. It's a good B tier game. And up next is Avalon. I'm not the biggest fan of social deduction, neither is Kim, but I think, in terms of like the werewolf style of social deduction, I would say this is among the best. It gives you a bit more to go on than Werewolf, whereas Werewolf, it just feels like you're blindly just guessing because somebody breathed funny. Avalon is a good trader-based social deduction game that I would give a high B. I give a high B. Next up is one of my go-to light filler games, Grifters. So you can see this shelf, it has like a theme. A lot of them are light and they're like filler games. Grifters is great. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's not very common, it's not very popular, but it's this sort of like game where you're trying to build like the perfect criminal syndicate in your hand. And there's a lot of like messing with your opponents and doing all this jazz and doing a bit of set collection because you want to get the trophies in the center or whatever the hell they are, the prizes. I don't know, but you just want to get them and win the game. It's good. It's good. I think Grifters is a solid high B, low A. I'm gonna go high B tier game. So Patchwork, it had its place. I enjoyed it for quite some time. I had my fun with it, and I just don't play it anymore. Kim doesn't want to play it. I don't want to play it, but it's still pretty good. Like I got bored of it, but I don't want to just say because I got bored of it, I'm gonna rank it lowly. I put this at a low B. It's a low B tier game. It's a cool little cute pattern game where you know, I don't have to explain Patchwork. You know Patchwork. Low B. And next up is Vanuatu. Vanuatu? I don't remember this game. I know we've played it a few times. I would have to check my notes. If you don't know this, one of the reasons why I'm able to make so many tier lists of like all of these games is because for the last like 20 years, I have just kept notes. There's a backstory as to why I've done this because I obviously didn't have a channel back then. I just kept notes of every game I've ever played, like extensive notes. I would have to check on this one because I don't remember anything. See? And next is one of the OG 3-player worker placement games, Kalis. Kalis is like one of the OG worker placement games. It's super fun to play at 3 players, and it is super mean because you can move the provost back and forth so that if a person puts a worker out to get resources, you can move the provost back and then they just don't get shit, and that's funny. And so for that, it's a high B tier. High B tier, low A, we'll say high B. Oh, next one of my favorite 3-player games, Vikings. Yeah, Vikings is a game that I never hear anybody mention, but I have such a soft spot for it. I've had it in my collection for quite some time. It is a game that comes out probably 3 or 4 times a year, usually almost always when it's 3 players. It's just a tile laying game where you lay these tiles out on this track and you try to put your Vikings on it so you can block ships and raid places and get victory points. And it's got the little rondel where you draft both the tile and the Viking. It's cool. It's awesome. Get gold, get pillaging. Low A. I really like Vikings. Next is Spectral. Spectral was a deduction game that was featured on our top 8 deduction games of all time. If you haven't seen that, definitely watch it. It's a newer game because we picked this up at PAX Unleashed or whatever the hell it's called. PAX Unplugged. It is a good game. Kim is a bigger deduction person than I am, but I like this one because there's a bit of like almost area control to it as well, and sort of like a little social deduction too, because you're trying to suss out like what other people know and you're sort of gauging that based on how they place their dudes on the map. It's good. It's a good game. I would say high B tier. And next up is the classic Terra Mystica. Lots of games I think have tried to replace Terra Mystica and refine it and change the system, like Gaia Project and Age of Innovation. I still think Terra Mystica is the best. I think it's better than all those games. I don't think you can refine it because I think it's pretty much perfect. I would give it an A tier. I'm not the biggest Terra Mystica fan, so it can't be an S tier, but I do like it, and I do play it a decent amount, especially at 4 players. Great 4-player game, Terra Mystica, A tier. And next up is Caverna. I know it's kind of blasphemy because I know people prefer Agricola over Caverna, but I kind of like Caverna more. I like that it's a bit more open. I know there's room for that tighter experience that Agricola provides, but there's something about this that I just find very charming. I like sort of building up my cave and sending out my dwarfs to do fighting shit and like increasing their ranks. It's cool. It's a cool game. I give Caverna a very high B. And next up is one of my favorite 4-player games of all time, Keyflower. Keyflower is, of course, in my top 10 games of all time. I love it to death. There is that sort of bidding element where you're trying to get the tile that you want and you're putting out the colors of your meeples to cure those tiles. And I love that. But what I love the most is the building your village. I find it so quaint. I find it so fun to like build out your village, and then send out your villagers, your meeples, to other people's villages to get stuff. And it sounds bad because you block that space from them, but they get those meeples at the end of the turn. And it's kind of cool. Like, it feels thematic, setting your dudes out, having them come back, and you got to send the resources all around your town. I love Keyflower. I love it so much. Easy S tier game. Ingenious, in my opinion, is definitely one of Rainer Knizia's better abstract games, even though I think it's one that nobody really talks about, and yet I think this is one of the mass market ones. It's cool. I think it's one of the better games where you have to get the lowest, whatever, for the final scoring, it takes your lowest. You lay in these like plastic tiles and stuff to get points. I don't know, I can't explain it, but I like it. I think I don't like it as much as Kim does, but I would give it like a high B tier. And next is Anno 1800. I love the Anno video game series, and this game, like, in some ways, is inspired by that series. You can feel it. It is a game which initially I really didn't like, but it just kind of grew on me over time. Kim hates it, so I just play it exclusively with friends. But I think it is one of Martin Wallace's better games. Like, I would put this in his top 3 of his best games, and that's including Brass and stuff. Yeah, I would say this is an A tier game. Up next is Libertalia. So I, of course, have the OG Libertalia. I don't have that shitty reprint that Stonemaier Games did. It's all like babyish and with stupid little animal art and crap and toned down some of the mechanics. No, this is the best. This is the best version. All the pirates are dirty. There's Scarlett Johansson in there. She's looking like a wench babe. You know, it's awesome. It's an awesome game. And it's one of these games that I love busting out for like 4 or 5 players, because there's a bit of meanness to it as well, like trying to make sure that other people you can destroy other people's cards, or you're just taking the little saber and destroying their dudes. It's good. It's a very good game. Libertalia, I would say high B tier. Robinson Crusoe is probably one of my favorite cooperative experiences, despite the fact that all the times I've played it and all the years I've owned it, we've probably won like 2-3 times. Like, it is a punishing game, but I don't give a shit because it's fun, and that's what matters. It tells a story. You and your team are sort of like working together, delegating tasks, and be like, you go out and hunt those animals, and then the cool thing is that, like, you can actually also help people in their actions, which is fun, even though it's just placing a worker and letting them do the action. That's fine. Yeah, great game. S tier game. Dead of Winter is the first Crossroads game I've played, and I think the first one that was ever made. It's such a cool system. Unfortunately, it's hard to get to the table, but it is among one of my favorite trader games that has a strong place in my heart and in my gaming history. I have a lot of stories that revolve around Dead of Winter. Shoot. It's hard ranking games that just you don't play much anymore, but you still have these like memories of that are really, really good. B. It's a B tier game. So Lords of Vegas is an absolutely brilliant 4-player game that implements trading just beautifully. I love that you can trade with anybody at the table, and you can trade for almost just about anything. And this game is extra mean, which which means I give it extra love. Now, I will say that a lot of people I play with know that I'm pretty decent at this game, and everybody gangs up on me. And so I just become the person that everybody, like, from all the games they've played with me, where they've built up this hatred for me for all the meanness that I've given them. They give it to me in Lords of Vegas. And yet I still love it. So that says a lot about this game. You're basically just building a casino and you're rolling a ton of dice, and it's friggin' awesome, and it's an A tier game. Easy A tier game. So Flamecraft is definitely one of the most overhyped games of our time. It's not that the game sucks, it's just that it's very boring. Like, there's very little that you can do, and never mind. I was gonna say I don't understand the popularity, but I do. It's adorable. It's adorable. I haven't played Critter Kitchen yet, which I assume is made by the same artist, because it's both by Lucky Duck. I hope it's better than this, because yeah, Kim and I play this. It's very bland, but we keep it anyway because I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why we keep it. I think it's a game that's really pretty, and so we just like can't get rid of it. But as it stands right now, it's like C tier, maybe low C tier. And next we have Roll for the Galaxy. This is going to be blasphemy, I understand, but I actually kind of like this a bit more than standard Race for the Galaxy. I like, because Race for the Galaxy is just, I feel just a better two-player game, where this game plays 4 and 3 really well, and I just love the big chunky dice coming, or not chunky dice, they're actually small dice. I like the dice and how they come into this, like, these big colorful cups, and it's like one of the loudest games we own, because once you start shaking those cups, you generate a lot of noise. But it still has a lot of the charm or that Roll for the Galaxy has. And so that's why I think it's a really good game. I like it. I have, I think, 1 or 2 expansions. I would say this is a low A tier game. Low A tier. So Glory to Rome, this is not this is not Glory to Rome. This is just a box. I wanted to use this box and to put my homebrew version of Glory to Rome. If you were interested in printing your own copy, I strongly recommend checking mine out. It was on Board Game Geek. It's not there anymore for reasons we won't get into, but you can see it in the video. In the video, I have a link to where you can get the files. I like Glory to Rome. It's one of the starts where you see like multi-use card play, because the cards can be just used for almost anything, and it's just I don't know, I just really like Glory to Rome, and it's a real shame that nobody can just go out and buy it when they need it, because a lot of people just don't want to go through the process of printing a bunch of shit out. But I would say Glory to Rome is a low A tier game. So Pulsar is a game done by one of my favorite designers that plays really, really great at 4. It's just, yeah, it's a great game. We don't play this enough. Maybe it's because I won't play with anything under the 4-player count, which I think kills a lot of the games for us in my collection, which makes a lot of games just not get as many plays as they should. And Pulsar is one of them. I put Pulsar at I'm gonna go low A tier. And next is Blood Rage. Speaking of 4-player games, this is one of my go-to 4-player games, or it was for the longest time. I think it's one of the better Eric Lang games, aside from Chaos in the Old World. I love that it's just like this constant beat 'em up, and that there's like these cool card synergies. As irritating as it is to see the Loki death strategy implemented again and again and again, and the fact that you have to draft with the knowledge that you can't let one person get all those Valhalla cards, it is still a very good game. I would put this at as it stands right now, I would put this at a high B tier. This is in my top 10 games of all time. I absolutely love it. I think it's another brilliant 4-player game with some just some great mechanics, some of the best art you'll ever see in gaming, and this is honestly probably one of the most divisive games I own, because I've noticed that there's a ton of people that just despise it, and they shouldn't. Those people are fools. They don't understand that the semi-cooperative nature of the game is part of its charm, and it's what makes the game so brilliant. And I love, and I know a lot of people hate this too, I love the sort of hidden information games where you're sort of working towards a goal, but you you don't 100% know what the goal is, because it encourages you to pay really hyper close attention to what everybody else is doing, to sort of suss out what they know and what they don't know. But anyway, this is an S tier game. Easy S. Speaking of hidden information games, Argent also employs that, where you're trying to get the bids of various individuals within the faculty to become the new dean of the Magic University, and you don't know what it is they're looking for, which is strange thematically, but it's really great mechanically, because again, like I said with the other game, it invests you in other people's turns. I love this. It's a freaking mess. It's not a game that's well balanced, and I don't give a shit, because it is a ton of fun. I like messing people up with fireball spells and kicking them out of worker placement spots. It is a highly interactive game that takes up your entire table, and that's what makes Argent an S tier game. It's awesome. It's rad. You gotta at least try it once. Mare Nostrum is like a solid dudes on a map game that, like many dudes on a map games, doesn't get played a lot in this house, but I do remember having good times with it when I last played it, which was probably a couple years ago. I would put this at probably a low B tier. Stockpile is just a brilliant light strategy game where I don't know, anytime I bust this out, when it's 5 players, exclusively 5 players, everybody just has a good time. They all have a good time. There's something about insider stock trading it's just, I think it just resonates with people. It's really easy to explain, really easy to understand. You can get it done in 30-40 minutes. Yeah, Stockpile is a blast. I would put this at an A tier, low A tier. Next up is Wildlands. So I like a lot of beat 'em up style games, and Wildlands attracted me because, well, they had that style, and it was done by Martin Wallace, like a prolific designer. But it I don't it must not resonate with me very much because I don't pull it out too often. Like it's probably been a couple of years since I played Wildlands. It just loses out to games like Black Rose and Wiz War, but it is still a good game. I would give this a low B tier. Mosaic is a great Tableau builder that is just it's one of the kings of Tableau building in terms of just sheer volume. When you take this out and you start playing, the cards just like start piling and piling up. It is another one of these games, unfortunately, that I won't play without 4 players. But when I get 4 players to the table, I always take a Mosaic. It's just very satisfying to see some of the cards chained together and just to get that friggin' giant, giant tableau of cards. The dudes on the map portion of this is a little wonky, but that's okay. I still think Mosaic is probably like a low A tier game. Now it's time for Mystic Vale. Now in this game, I own pretty much everything, so this is a very heavy box. Okay, you can see my immense strength by holding up this one hand. This is one of the heaviest boxes I have despite its size because there's just so many cards in here. I really like Mystic Vale. Kim loves it, but I really like it. So I would say I would give Mystic Vale probably a B tier. B tier. It sort of wanes on me a little bit. Like the deck building portion of it is a little. It can be a little boring sometimes. I find a lot of the cards lack a bit of creativity, which is a shame given the fact that the transparent card system itself is highly creative. But it's still a good game. I'm not going to get rid of it. Kim would kill me. B tier. Role player is essentially what you would do in a D&D campaign where you first initially build your character. It is a fun game. It is by no means thematic. I don't think. I mean, some of the cards I guess have some thematic essence, but for the most part, it's just a mechanical little puzzle that the game's asking you to solve through its dice system. It's a cool game. I would give role player probably like a B tier game. Next is one of Kim's favorite games, The Search for Planet X. This is Kim's favorite deduction games and one of her favorite games. It was in well, I won't spoil it. It was in our top 8 for best deduction games. As I said before, the deduction game thing was kind of Kim's thing and more than my thing. This is the one I actually don't like that much. I would prefer the deduction games to have some semblance of game in it, whereas I think this is just like it is pure deduction. So if that interests you, then obviously you should absolutely own Search for Planet X. But for myself, I would put the Search for Planet X at like a high C tier. Next up is Quarriors. So after the fake out of Marvel Dice, whatever the hell the thing is called, this is the real thing. This is the Quarriors game. I have quite a bit of expansions. This box is mostly full of just like colorful, wonderful dice. It is a game that I think has fallen out of favor with a lot of people, but I think it's still fun. I don't bust this out a lot, but I still do like it. I like that sort of like dice building mechanic and chucking them all, and it's just it's swingy, it's random. I don't give a shit. It's fun. I would go low B tier. K2 has got to be one of the most underappreciated gateway games on the planet. This is such a fun game to bust out with people that like don't play a lot of board games because it's really easy to pitch and to explain and for them to understand. It gets done in like under an hour. It's like it's a little mean because you can block people off, which obviously I love, but it's not so mean that you're getting mad about it. And it's always got like a really thrilling conclusion where people push themselves to the absolute limit trying to scale the mountain and they push too hard and now they can't breathe and they die. It's great. K2, I would say solid A tier family game, maybe even high A tier. Orleans is a really good game where we talked about dice building and deck building. This is a bag building game where you're recruiting a bunch of people to come into your service and you're performing all these actions. And part of it is simultaneous play, which is a lot of fun. I think Orleans is great. I think it's held up very well. I have one of the expansions, which I think catapulted it back into favor for me. I would put Orleans because it was a lot more interactive. I can't remember what it's called, Intrigue something or other, but it's a lot more interactive. I would put Orleans as low A, high B. Let's go high B tier game. Istanbul is a really great game that it's like Orleans, it's just really easy to teach and for people to understand. And there's a really good puzzle there to solve through the action mechanics because you essentially like you move your dude, your merchant, sorry, along with his little helpers around, and you have that little puzzle where you're trying to decide like, hey, do I backtrack now? Do I go to the fountain to get all my guys back? It's great, and it's a race game too. And race games are a lot of fun because you're trying to be the first to get X amount of rubies. I would put this at an A tier. This is an A tier game. Blueprints is a good game that's basically its own little puzzle where you're placing all these like big chunky dice on the blueprints themselves to build specific patterns. It's a good little filler game. I would give this like low B tier. This is Codenames. You know what Codenames is about. It's a good game. Unfortunately, I think we've sort of replaced this with the crypto, but Codenames is still a game that makes its appearance quite a bit because it is super popular. We have the duet version, so we actually have the duet and the original. I don't know why we decided we needed to do more words on cards as if we were like running out, but we got both. It's a good. I would put this at like as it stands right now as party games go, I would put this in like it's a B tier. It's a B tier game. Next is Just One. Remember earlier I was telling you about the party game kick I was experiencing? This is one of the games I picked up. I went on BGG, it was highly ranked. I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I haven't played it yet. We haven't been to a party yet. We're not very social. No ranking. Next is the Codenames killer, Decrypto. Yeah, like I said, we don't play a lot of Codenames anymore. It's pretty much just Decrypto. It is one of my favorite deduction games. I just think it's just really brilliantly done where you're heavily invested on not just your turn, but you're heavily invested on your opponent's turn. And I actually find guessing my opponent's words a hell of a lot more fun than coming up for clues with my teammate. It's just, yeah, it's just cool. Like you're listening in, trying to like suss it out and figure out like, okay, they just said orangutan and they just said purple. Well, how can we put those two, how those two go together? It's cool. It is clever. This is an easy A tier game. Longshot in our collection started off a little quiet, but for whatever reason, it has been building up momentum. It is now one of our go-to party games. It is a great game where it's, for whatever reason, it's actually really hard to teach. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just doing poorly at it, but there's just so many like little weird mechanics and mini games that you have to explain to people. But once they start playing, they get it. After like one roll of the dice, they get it and they have fun. Everybody is having fun. I would give Longshot, it's an A tier, another A tier party game. Next is Spyfall. Now I know a lot of people are using the app now for Spyfall, but those people are no, they're wrong. You got to use the actual physical copy of the game. Spyfall is great. It is a good game that I think Kim now uses as like I think their team and her tech team uses this like a team builder exercise because she introduced it to them. It's great. You're trying to suss out who the spy is. The spy doesn't know the location of where they are, so everybody's asking each other questions that are sort of like not on the nose about the location itself, but sort of like hint towards the location without giving too much away. It's clever. It's good. Spyfall, I would put high B tier. King Domino was a game for the longest time was like our go-to filler game. We played no other filler game but King Domino. And as such, it's sort of like it fell out of favor. I still think King Domino is really good. I think it's infinitely superior to Queen Domino. Queen Domino just complicates things for no necessary reason. Yeah, it's a really good game. I would give King Domino probably a B tier game. Watergate does the perfect job of sort of distilling the Twilight struggle experience into an easy, 20 to 30-minute two-player experience. It's another one of these games where it benefits to know the deck, but once you get to know that deck, it becomes a really tense two-player game. I would put Watergate as like a high B tier. Cartographers is awesome. Everybody loves drawing their own little maps. Even the individuals who are not artistically inclined love to get a little creative and draw like special little monsters on it. And speaking of the monsters, this is one of the few party games that plays not only like an infinite amount of people, but you get to be mean. You get to be mean to people because you get to take their sheet and you draw where the monster goes on their map, on their fantasy cartography map, which ruins them and like sort of takes away their victory points. I mean, they do the same thing to you, but you're having fun because you're being mean to other people, and I like being mean. And this is like a B tier game. Not Alone, I think, is one of the best one. No, it is probably the best one versus many games you're going to be able to get. It's a really cool experience where you're trying to like, as the survivors or the people visiting this alien world are trying to navigate around this world and not get caught by the monster who is trying to destroy them. It is, yeah, it's a really good game. I would, well, I think I was gonna say low A, high B. Let's go B. Let's go high B. Katagawa is fine. I bought this because I wanted some more lighter games in my collection, and I was like, oh, this one looks fine. So I bought it, and it is fine. It is C tier fine. I don't like Ultimate Werewolf. I think it's a bad game. I understand why people have it. I have it, of course, because it plays a ton of players. But there's better social deduction. You know, we've evolved as a social deductive gamer, I think, over the years. And I think there's nothing to go on when you play werewolf. You're just like pointing at people and saying, well, I guess it's that guy because I don't know. He's ugly. Yeah, it's a D tier game. D tier game that I own and probably won't be able to get rid of. How about some Steampunk Rally? Another good game from Roxley. I think Steampunk Rally is is a pretty cool racing game that employs a mechanic that I don't see in a lot of other games, where you're rolling all these freaking tons of dice, and you get to put them onto your cards, and your cards essentially act as this ongoing engine that you're building, basically like the race machine itself. Yeah, it's really well done. I would give Steampunk Rally probably a high B tier. Imperial Settlers is a good game. It's one that Kim likes a lot more than I do. I think 51st State is probably better, but I do enjoy this one. I like collecting just the truckload of resources that seem to pour at your doorstep every production phase. I love the interaction of like destroying other people's things and turning them to rubble, but then they get something, so it's not all for naught. And it's a really good tableau builder that I would put at I would say B tier game. Spectrops is among one of my favorite one versus many hidden movement games. I think it is really well implemented. I love the powers that each individual unit provides. I find this and Sniper Elite to be sort of on par with each other. They're both very good games that challenge you and then make you think like you're doing something clever every time you sort of like just evade capture or you capture the other individual. Yeah, it's a great game. I would put this at like a low A tier. City of Spies is a game that I actually like, that I think plays brilliantly at 3 players, but for whatever reason, the people I play with, they don't like it. They find it very boring. So I am alone in liking this game, and that is partially why I refuse to sell it, despite the fact that we just don't play it. I think it's good. I think it's a really good game. I would probably give this like a low B tier game. Harrow County is a solid game that we picked up during PAX last year. It is a very good 2-player game that I think plays more than 2 players, but you'd never want to play more than 2 players. It's got a lot of asymmetrical powers that are really enjoyable. It's got this tight little like puzzle, sort of very abstract, that you have to solve, where you're trying to like destroy houses if you're one side, or the villages, whereas if you're on the other side trying to save the villagers. It's very interesting. I would give this probably Kim likes it a lot more than I do. I would give low B, high C, probably, let's just say high C. Next is Suburbia. So you've already seen Castles of Mad King. This is Suburbia. I think this is the better version, but it's a heavier version. The biggest qualm and the biggest reason I don't enjoy it as much as I could potentially is because of when you get a new tile, it's not just the tile that's providing you shit. You have to look at every other tile that you've played and potentially tiles the opponent has played. It can get a little bookkeepy at times, but I still think Suburbia is a very good game, and I would give it a high B tier. It does feel like a cool like city building game. Sim City. It's what I was thinking of. It's a good Sim City game, I think. Tobago is amazing. It's really awesome. It's got a presence where like people see it, they want to play it. It's really easy to explain. It's got almost, it's not really a deduction game, but kind of like there's some cleverness here that I don't think you're going to find in a lot of family weight games. And for that, I would give Tobago probably like a low A tier. Dice Town is a pretty good 5-player game that I think I guess I would classify it as a party game. You are chucking a bunch of dice and you're trying to build poker hands to essentially gain dominance in different areas. For example, you might want to influence the market so that you can get the cards that you want, or you might want to get more of something else from other people so you can get more gold nuggets. It's cool. It's pretty interactive. I would give Dice Town probably a low B tier game. Nightfall is a game that we never get to play anymore that is heavy as all hell because it went out of print. And just before it went out of print, I just bought everything at like the cheapest rate I've ever picked up board games and board game expansions. I really like Nightfall, but for whatever reason, nobody talks about it. Nobody seems to give a shit about it. It appears on nobody's lists. But I think it's good. I think Nightfall is a really good game. I would probably give it a high B tier. If I was going to tell you to check it out. You can't. You can't check it. This is how you can check it out. You can just look at the box. Vampires. B tier. San Juan is able to really successfully distill that sort of Puerto Rico experience into what an easy to manage like 20-minute card game. I think it is great. Fantastic 3-player game. I will put San Juan at like a high B tier. Dixit is just a fantastic party game that fell out of favor for a while, but I think it's made a big resurgence in my collection. I really enjoy it. I would put Dixit at like a low A tier game. City of Horror is a really good 5-player game that nobody talks about. I think the previous iteration, Mall of Horror, was pretty popular for like a year. Then it sort of dropped off the map. But I think City of Horror is a very good 5-player game where okay, I'm sure you notice a pattern in the last like 300 games. You are mean to people. You essentially decide who lives and who dies as a team, and you negotiate with one another. And you decide like, okay, well, that person has to get kicked off to the zombies and they die. The characters themselves have little individual powers, which make the game a lot more interesting. I would put City of Horror at like a B tier game. I have not played Ahoy. It was sent to us at some point by the publisher, and we just haven't got around to playing it. I don't know if I know what it's about. I will find out. I will get this played in the next like week or two. So for now, not available. Potion Explosion was so popular in this house for like the longest time. It is such a unique experience with the big chunky marbles and just like perfectly trying to solve that puzzle where you want to take as many marbles from that rack as you can and then filling up your potions, and the potions all provide you individual powers. It's a very simple game, but I think that's what makes it a really damn good gateway game, because you can slap this on the table and people who don't play a lot of board games, they're going to be impressed. They're going to look at this and be like, what the hell is this? I would put Potion Explosion at like a high B tier game. Somalem is a game that actually kind of grew on me over time. I hated it when I played it on Tabletop Simulator and Board Game Arena. But over time, like playing with the right group and the right group of friends, it just became a lot more enjoyable. It is this sort of like almost group-dependent push your luck game where you're racing up this track to get your to get your cats on as many different planets and asteroids as possible. But at some point, the dice aren't going to be in your favor and your ship's going to blow up, and your cats don't die, they just restart. Yeah, this is a good one. I will put this is a B tier game. Santorini is a game that Kim despises, so we never play it. But I do play it once in a blue moon with guests that come over. I think it is I'm not the big fan of like the 2-player only abstract games, but I think Santorini is one of the better ones. It's something I can teach in like under a minute. It's really beautiful looking. It's got lots and lots of powers. I would put this, there's a newer edition. This is an older edition. I would put this at like low B tier, B tier. Endless Winter is a game that I have tried to get rid of. If you watch this channel, you saw me put on like a trash or treasure thing. Kim was like insistent that we keep it, even though we don't play it. It is a game that requires at least 3 or 4 players. It is very disjointed and weird to teach because it just feels like this like weird, non-connected series of mini games, that you're performing. I think it's a decent game. I wish I liked it more. I'd probably say like low B, high C. So I'm going to go high C tier. Aristea is definitely like one of the best introductory miniature games, if only because you just have to buy this box. And you have like everything you need to play a game. If you like arena style games, like sort of beat 'em ups with cool card play, you really need to own this game. Like there's not a lot of board games that are doing this as well as Aristea does. And the company that comes from, Corvus Belli, they have a long pedigree and a long history of like just producing quality miniature games. And this is the best thing you can get if you want to make that transition where you're a board gamer, but you want to try a little bit of miniatures. They're not painted, but who cares? Like most like Nemesis isn't painted either, but it's super popular. This should be much more popular than it is. I would put this at like a high A tier. Awkward Guess is this sort of like fake deduction game. Um, I used to think it was a deduction game, but then over time, well, I won't spoil it for you in case you do enjoy it. But over time, I began to realize that it's really not that at all. But I still really do like it. I think if you have the right play group, people tend to have a tendency to have a lot of fun with this one. I like the fact that there's a bit more gamification happening beyond the deduction, which is through the trading of your clues with other people, as haphazard and random as that can be sometimes. I would put this is a solid B game. Solid B game. Quartermaster General is the best six-player board game you will ever play in your entire life. Maybe aside from TI 3 or 4. It is I won't play with anything under 6, and if you've noticed a slight pattern in this list, my collection, sorry, is that I really like interesting player dynamics when it comes to player counts. This is a 3 versus 3 game. It is a light war game. It is a game where everybody represents a specific country, and everybody feels like they're impactful. Cool card play. Yeah, I love Quartermaster in general. I would give it like a high A, if not, let's go S. S tier 6-player game, for sure. Next is my favorite Kinesia game, Samurai. This, along with Tigris, I would say this, along with Tigris and Euphrates, is probably his best games. This is like one of the best 3-player games in my collection. I love the pieces. I love how tense it gets, even though it's relatively simple. Like I can explain this to people really, really quickly. It plays like in like 45 minutes, maybe even 30 sometimes. Yeah, this is a really good one. It's abstract as all hell. I hope it's still in print. I think it is because I do want to recommend it. I would put this at an A tier. Samurai is an A tier game. Trailblazers is a good game. It's not a great game. It's a good game. You lay your tiles. You do a little hiking. It's cool. I would put it like a low B. Low B, high C. Let's do low B. Next is Discoveries. I actually owned the Lois and Clark board game for like the longest time, and eventually I got rid of it because I just didn't find it that good, at least not in comparison to Discoveries. Very few times does the dice game come out, and I actually prefer the dice game more than the original game. I really do with this. I think this is a really good 3-player game, and I can't describe how satisfying it is when you're able to combo and chain two path cards on the same turn. It feels really good. I love the native powers. Yeah, this is a great game. I would put this at like a high B, if not a low A. B. We'll stick with B. B tier. Next is Bingo, the board game, Karuba. This is another sort of good introductory board game that you can give to people who don't have a lot of experience with board games because it's very easy to understand and it's simultaneous play, so it plays very quickly. It is very random and it is silly, but that's okay. I would put this at like a high C tier game. I just recently bought the newest version of Galaxy Trucker so I could buy the latest expansion, which I think is Do What. I think Galaxy Trucker is fantastic, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Vlada fanboy, even though I am a Vlada fanboy. I like almost all of his games. Uh, you don't see real time implemented very well in a lot of games, but I think Galaxy Trucker gets it right. And I think if you introduce this game to people and you let them and you preface it with the knowledge that like it's random, you're gonna get a lot of bullshit thrown at you. Just try to have fun, do that frantic shipbuilding portion of the game and just enjoy the ride and laugh at other people's misfortunes and don't take your own misfortunes too seriously. I think you're gonna have a good time. I would give Galaxy Trucker an A tier game. Quantum is a solid game with a very cool element where your big chunky dice are your ships, and the pip value on that ship determines what like type of ship it is, and you're trying to gain control of the planets as you move around, and you do like slight battle with other people's ships through their dice. I think Quantum is a good game. I would give it a high B tier. Summoner Wars is great. It's one of these board games that I use to sort of like test the waters with board gamers who I want to get into miniature gaming. Because Summoner Wars, all the cards, they're moving on this like grid, they're moving on a map, and they all have like their individual powers. It's really well done. I think this is one of the older editions. I would give Summoner Wars probably a high B tier. So Concordia is definitely in my top 10 games of all time. It is one of those games that I initially saw and thought it was freaking hideous, thought it was going to be boring as all hell because it's the meme. It is trading in the board game meme, trading in the Mediterranean, and yet it is damn good. I love the player interaction in this. I love, trying to wait and see if other people are going to trigger the area and produce in that area so that you don't have to. It's sort of piggybacking off other people's actions, as well as like the scoring mechanic where you're sort of like, not only are you building a hand of cards which become your actions, become more powerful as the game progresses, but that also becomes your scoring opportunity. It's just good. It's a damn good game. I would give Concordia S tier game. Cretaceous Rails is very new to us. We've only played it a couple of times so far. I think we're probably going to try to play 2 players tonight. So far, so good. It's looking like a good B tier experience. The one thing that irritates me is the size of the box, because the dinosaurs in here, as cool looking as they are like these giant plastic miniatures, and it doesn't need to be like that. And sometimes my fat mitts, when I'm placing down the rails, I knock over stuff. But so far, so good. I would put, like I said, it's a B tier game. Voidfall is a fantastic game. It is a game that we've done a review on in this channel, that I think both of us pretty much just gushed over. The amount of depth in this game is bonkers. When I have a hand of action cards and each action card has 3 different actions on it, it is overwhelming. But it is, as I explained in the video, it is beautifully overwhelming. It is complication with that carries an immense amount of depth, and I love it for that. I would give this a S tier. This is an S tier game, no question about it. Voidfall is fantastic. Anachrony is wicked. If I'm a Vlada fanboy, I'm probably also a Mind Clash fanboy. I like a lot of their games. They specialize in these sort of like heavy, overly produced, tons of stuff on the table games. I think I own everything for this one. It is a great worker placement game that, yes, I know the time travel mechanic is gimmicky as all hell. I don't care. I love it. I would say Anachrony is probably a high A tier game. Great game to check out. So you thought it was just 6 bookshelves? It is not. It is actually 7, and we have this one located downstairs. So this is the last bookshelf on the board game collection tour. You've made it this far. I'm exhausted, but we got this. This is the last one. I've been trying to sell El Paso for the past couple of weeks, and nobody's buying. Hopefully they'll buy soon. It's good. It's a good game. The problem is we own Great Western Trail, and whenever we play this, we just crave Great Western Trail. I don't understand why it was made for like this weird travel board game audience, like individuals who want to take board games on the go and play on a plane or something. Because I've been told that's why there's like all the components are the way they are. Regardless, it's too stripped down. I don't care. I find it relatively boring. I would give it like a C, maybe even a low C. Next is Planet Unknown. This is one of the few exclusively tile laying games that I enjoy, and I think it's primarily because of that gimmick of the sort of spinning lazy Susan. I think it's implemented really well here, and it allows for simultaneous play, which sort of just speeds the game along. I don't think it's balanced. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but it feels like some of the planets are just significantly better than other planets. It feels like some planets were designed to purposely like hamstring good players. I don't know if that's what they were there for, but yeah, aside from that, I do like Planet Unknown. I would give it a B. It's a B tier game. Carnegie is a very good, dry as hell Euro game with some really good player interaction, where I not only do you get like that sort of route blocking that you get in like the original Ticket to Ride through your Salesforce or whatever, but you also get to do the sort of almost like Puerto Rico style action selection, where one person will select the action. But what's cool is that like part of the interaction is that you could sort of anticipate what people are going to do and then plan accordingly. And I find that a lot of fun, and it's one of the big reasons why I like Carnegie. I would give Carnegie like a low A. How about some Marco Polo? The second. I don't know what the common consensus is on Marco Polo, whether or not 1 is better than 2 or vice versa, but I think 2 is much better. 2 is maybe a little more forgiving, and you can do the exploration portion of the game a lot more fruitfully. I think Marco Polo the second is a really good game. I love busting it out, especially for 3 players. The powers has that system where like the faction powers or the character powers are just so incredibly broken. It's just a lot of fun where everybody's just kind of screaming at the other one, being like, my character sucks. Your character's so powerful. And everybody's doing that. This is a high B tier game. The Guild of Merchant Explorers is a game that definitely grew on me over time, and I like that it seems to play really well at a wide variety of different player counts. I find it I find it particularly enjoyable, and I find its gameplay pretty damn unique. I would give the Guild a solid B. Star Realms is a good, light deck builder that you can sort of play in between games. It definitely feels sometimes that the decision-making space is very limited. Now, I don't know if that comes down to what expansions you have, but it seems like some people just get significantly better cards and you're just sort of left in the lurch thinking like, well, I'm gonna lose. Let's play out the next 10, 15 minutes. But it is decent. I would put Star Realms at like a high C, low B. Let's go. I'm feeling generous. We'll go high B, or sorry, low B tier. A keen observer of this video would notice that this was actually in a bookshelf upstairs, but I forgot all about it to talk about it. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll bring it downstairs to talk about it because this is an awesome game. Hey, That's My Fish is a super mean cutthroat game where you're moving around your penguin, and the tile that you move away from, because there's a bunch of tiles on the board, on the table, sorry, the tile that you move away from gets removed from the game. So there's this portion of the game where you can sort of like isolate and create little islands to just like wreck other players, while you yourself are going around accumulating as much fish as possible. It's mean, it's great, it's super cheap. I got this for like 10, 15 bucks or something. Highly recommend it. I would give this a B tier. B tier. Next up is Imperium Classics, or Legends. They keep releasing these, and I pretty much just keep buying them. I really like the Imperium series. It is a good tableau builder, that's a bit, I don't know, it's been more meaty than your average tableau builder. There are moments when I feel like the gameplay loop gets a little repetitive. It just kind of, but I really like the factions. Like the factions play so crazily different, and they're so unique to the culture that they're representing, that it's fun. It's fun. It's a good game. I would give the Imperium series in general, because I have Legends up here too. We could skip over that. I give both an A. These are A tier games. Lucky Cat is the first game that was sent to us by a publisher, and then we were made not a review. We made a playthrough of this game, which I think like it holds up really well. Like it's a well edited playthrough. It is fun. It is a silly little party game. It's not a great game by any stretch of the imaginations, but it's a decent game. I would say C tier game. Next up, Disney's Villainous. Kim despises this game, so we almost never play it, but it is pretty good. Like it is pretty light, especially lighter than our tastes. But I like that all the villains play like pretty differently. Unfortunately, because Kim hates it and she doesn't want to play it, it doesn't hit the table very often. But as it stands right now, I would say high C tier game. Next is Dinosaur Island, Roar and Write. This is like the better version of Dinosaur World. I think it's a roll and write game that not roll and whatever write and whatever game that's done really well and implements a lot of the mechanics from Dinosaur World, and it streamlines them a bit and makes everything more accessible and makes the gameplay a lot faster. I enjoy this one. I would give this a low B, or no, mid B tier game. So we picked this one up at Gen Con. It is a pretty damn good, like exclusively two-player engine building game, which I think I really enjoy it. I've only played it once or twice so far with Kim, once at the convention and then once at home here. I want to keep trying it because I don't feel like there's a lot of games that are exclusively two players that are like just pure engine builders. This one is fun. This one's fun. I would give this a high B tier. Runes was like our big surprise of Gen Con. I went into this expecting almost nothing, and what I got was like a card shedding game that's very clever. It implements that sort of Mystic Veil card, transparent card mechanic, and I think it does it so well that you kind of sit back and be like, why hasn't this been done before? This makes perfect sense for a card shedding game. It's very clever. Every turn makes you feel like you have a lot to think about and decide on, which is rare for these card shedding games. So yeah, we really like this, and so far it's been one of our go-to 3 or 4 player games in the past couple of weeks. I would put this at an A tier. It's an A tier game. So Pagan was in our top 8 deduction games. It is a very solid, very creative 2-player deduction game where one player is playing the witch, the other player is playing the hunter, and the hunter's trying to find the witch. And there's lots of good interactions here where you're not just messing people up with your cards, but you're also trying to like engage in a lot of like deception where you're like, okay, well, I need to place my influence on certain characters, but I don't want to reveal that character is the witch. And so you'll do like, oh, I'm going to put on this dummy character that's not relevant to trick the hunter. There's lots of cool little mind games like that. I am liking this one. I need to play it a bit more. It's only been like 2 or 3 plays. I would give this, as it stands right now, a solid B. When I first was introduced to alchemists, I had no idea what was going on. It was at a convention, and everybody at the table seemed to understand the game except myself. And that left me feeling very dumb. And so I stopped asking questions, and I literally just pretended to understand what I was doing throughout the entire game. And of course, because of that, I hated it. But eventually, I revisited it. We got our own copy. I am digging it. Obviously, deduction games are Kim's thing. That's why I keep so many of them. But I do think this is a good one. I think Alchemist is a solid B tier deduction game. So if you like deduction games, you'd probably like it more than I do. Yeah. For me, though, B tier. Now, I tried to get rid of this in our like call type video. The reason we use trash or treasure instead of keep or call is because Kim hates the word call. She finds it violent. She said it's too violent. Sounds like you're killing a bunch of people or something. Whatever. She wouldn't let me get rid of this, even though I love the mechanic of that sort of like you play down the little card and you shift it up in this slider, and each time it like reveals a new ability. I think that's really cool. I just don't think there's much game here to attach it to. I've been told that the expansion makes it much better. If we're going to keep it, I guess I should get the expansion because as it stands right now, it's like a C tier game. War of the Ring has quickly become one of my go-to 4-player games. I think it is really, really well done. I am going to need expansion at some point because we're seeing the same cards and over and over and over again. But you've probably figured out yet by now, I'm a sucker for these like team-based games. I love the 2v2 in this game. I think there's lots of opportunities for clever card play. Yes, you can kind of get screwed by luck sometimes, but I really enjoy this one. I would put War of the Ring, the card game, at S tier game. Windmill Valley is a game that I thought I was not going to be interested at first, but it's sort of just like grown on me over time. I just love this idea of building your own little action wheel that is just completely different from everybody else's. And it's just like, it's sort of like my preference towards organic individual player powers that evolve over time rather than just like a faction you get at the start of the game. I think Windmill Valley does it really well, and it does comboing really, really well. It can suck when you're watching people combo because you're not doing anything. But I think Windmill Valley is a great game. I would put it at an A tier. This is an A tier game, low A tier, but A tier. This is another solid Martin Wallace game. I really like it. We did a review of it. You can check it out on the channel. I think I would give this a high B tier. It is a good game that requires you to mitigate a lot of bad stuff, but it never feels necessarily punishing. It always feels like if things go wrong, it's your fault. You know, you are in control of the bad stuff that happens, I think. Yeah, it's a good game. This is good. You definitely want to check it out because I don't think there's a lot of buzz about this one. Here's yet another like abstract animal thing, replacing tiles and like trying to get animals into your rainforest. I I think I like this one maybe more than Harmonies. I'm not sure. It's in a running with Cascadia at least. I would put this at a B tier. Very good game. How about some Hell in Inferno? There's another game I tried to get rid of and Kim wouldn't let me. That's not to say it's a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game. I don't find the 2 portions of the game. No, actually, you know what? I find the first portion particularly interesting, where you're bringing these characters into the other world and the hell, down into the circles of hell. I like that puzzle. I don't like the action worker placement portion. I find it relatively boring and rudimentary. Like it's not interesting. None of the actions I'm performing are interesting. I would put this at mid to low C. We'll go low C. This one's pretty unique because you're not going to find a lot of like cooperative deduction games that also somehow manage to play not exactly like, but almost like Robinson Crusoe, where you get this element of discovery and sort of resource management shared amongst friends. This is a good one. I would put this at a high B tier game. Next up is Compile. Compile is a good game. It is a short game. It is easy to understand. It's got a theme that makes absolutely no sense, but it's kind of funny in its own way. I would give this a B tier game. Next up is a bunch of small card games. So we have Up or Down, Sears Catalog, and Happy Mochi, and Tecta. I have not played any of these games. They were just kind of I think they were just given to I think they were given to Kim at Gen Con because I don't remember these games at all. So at some point we'll go through them. Actually, up or down, Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling. Those are big designers for like a tiny little card game. And I remember Sears catalog. We were checking out is it the Game Masters with the content creator from Cardboard East, Jay. I just picked this game up as we were talking. I was like, Sears catalog, that's funny. Just like laughing at the pun. And then he was just like, take it. And I was like, okay, I will. And I won't play it. I mean, I'll play it eventually. Yeah, so these games cannot be ranked right now. So if you haven't checked out the Playing with Myself documentary, which explores solo gaming, definitely check it out because Final Girl is the final game of the night that I use to just kind of go over and talk about my experience with it. I enjoy it. I think it's good, and I'm really happy I've discovered like Van Ryder Games because I've been looking for a publisher that does sort of like adult orientated games, and I think I may be wrong, but I think that's kind of their shtick. So I love that. So I'm looking to buy more of their games because Final Girl is pretty good. It's a little random, a little swingy, but it's an enjoyable experience. And while the setup is a bit of a pain sometimes, I enjoy each encounter. I would give Final Girl a B, a high B. So Obsession is a really good game that manages to tread that line between Euro and thematic game. I think it does a really good job because there's a lot of elements in this where you can tell that the theme was sort of like carefully studied basically to make you feel like you're this like rich socialite trying to vie for the Fairchilds. Now, sometimes to his detriment because the Fairchilds are not balanced. One is like amazing and the other one is complete garbage. I own all the expansions. It's a good game. I would say A tier. So let me know in the comment section if I should be upgrading my Dune because I own this and then I own 2 of the expansions. And I'm just like, what do I do? Like do I sell this and then buy the new ones? Let me know. Dune is fantastic. It's a brilliant game. It's been talked to death and I'm sure it has appeared in everybody's top 10 lists all over the content creation space. For good reason, it is an S tier game. I love Brass. I think it's fantastic. I think it's in the BGG top 100 or no, I think it's the #1 spot. I don't know. Who gives a shit? It is amazing. It is an amazing game. I love the art. I love the subtle player interaction that occurs. I love having to adapt with what could sometimes be a shitty hand that you get dealt. Yeah, it is one of his best games. I would give this is an S tier game. Tricarion suffers the awful fate of being among my favorite games that nobody likes. Nobody that I play with likes. So it just doesn't hit the table very often. And that sucks because I'm a big Mind Clash fanboy. I like their games. This is, fits the bill of being something that's very heavy, very lengthy, but it's awesome. Tricarion is an awesome game with sort of worker placement actions, a little pre-planning and programming, and and the workers themselves have like different abilities that help you. It's so good. It's so good. Tricarion's an S tier game. Creature Caravan was a game played in this house almost every other day for about a month. We played a lot of this game, and for good reason. It's a really good game. It is one of the better games released last year. Yeah, I know it's just basically like a race with a tableau building, but I just love. There's lots of parts of it that I love. I love that you can like build out your own action selection through the cards as the game progresses. And yeah, there's a lot of luck to it, but I don't care. It's fun. I give this easy A tier. Now, Kim and I love Level 99 games primarily because they make all their games, the art for all their games, anime, and we are weebs. So we love anime-inspired games, and who can resist cute girls doing violent things? This is a real-time game. It works really well. It provides a really cool puzzle, and I really enjoy it. I think I own this is Hard Edition. I think there's Star Edition and some other edition, and a bunch of characters. But for now, I'm just working through this. This is a great game to bust out when like somebody comes early and you got more people coming later, but you only got like 20 minutes to play a game. This is good. I give it an A tier game. It's an A tier game. Quadropolis is a game that absolutely nobody talks about anymore, which is a shame because I think it is one of the better Days of Wonder family style games. It's really easy to teach, really easy to understand. It plays very quickly. It is a cool little puzzle, good little city builder. I would give Quadropolis a B, high B. Next up is the classic Ticket to Ride. Now you'd think, given how mean I am, I would like the original Ticket to Ride, because it doesn't have the stations. But I use Ticket to Ride to teach people who don't play a lot of games because for whatever reason, it just resonates with a lot of individuals. And it's good. It is good. I won't gravitate towards it myself, but if people suggest it, or if, like I said, if there's new gamers coming, I will bring this out. Ticket to Ride is a high C tier game. Five Tribes gets played a lot in this house, exclusively at 2 players, because that's where it shines. It is a fantastic, fantastic light game that sort of stands as my example for when I want to talk about light games that have depth. You know, you're being a light game is not an excuse for producing a game that offers like little to no choices. Every turn, I am overwhelmed with the amount of choices I can do. And yet, I can teach this game very easily. People seem to understand it, no problem. Five Tribes is an easy A tier game, high A tier. Sky Team is a game that I thought was going to suck, and then it turned out being awesome. I love it. There's a reason it is like one of the best-selling games in the last couple of years. I love going through the cooperative experience of that silent negotiation that occurs between both players as they sort of suss out what the other person has rolled. And I like that there's like not a campaign, but some like a mission base basically that feels unique and distinct from all the other missions. And it's enjoyable. This is an enjoyable experience. I would give Sky Team an easy A. Next up is 20 Strong. So I have been collecting a lot of solo player games in an effort to create a giant solo tier list, as well as like a top 10. And 20 Strong was what I was told is very good. I'm going to check it out. I have the, what do I have? Tanglewoods. So I have a bunch of Tanglewoods expansions. I'm going to figure out how to play this probably this weekend because Kim's going to Toronto for a work thingamajig. And then I'll tell you how I think about it, when I think about it. But for now, yeah, not available. Next up is White Castle. So White Castle is Kim and I's favorite De Beer game. It seems very simple, but we love how tight it is. How it's only like is it a 12 turn? I think it's like a 12 turn thing. That's like just like it feels like you don't have enough actions to perform all the things you want to do, and we enjoy that. And there's a lot of comboing in this. I would give White Castle an A. It's an A tier game. Next up is Hadrian's Wall. This is one of my favorite, roll and write, or not a roll right, flip and write. I don't know, my favorite writing game. It is a little heavier than the traditional writing games that you typically find. I think Hadrian's Wall hits that spot for that just constant flood of resource collection and sort of trying to be as efficient as possible with those resources. I would give Hadrian's Wall a high B tier. Next up is Ashes Reborn. We don't play a lot of like exclusively, card battling games in this house, but I do think Ashes is one of the better ones. I love the diversity and the characters and how cool they feel and how fun it is and how it plays in like no time whatsoever, no setup. I would give Ashes, I give Ashes a high B tier. Next is Bad Company. So you remember how earlier I was saying I was looking for a Machikoro replacement? I think we've found that with Bad Company. It is very enjoyable. Kim loves it. I I love how you played to get more power from your dice. You play these cards, which are essentially the bad guys, and they sort of like they become taller as you play more cards. It's cool, and the little race against time from the police officer that chases you. It's a cool experience. I would give Bad Company a high B tier. I love Unfair. I love I love that it's just like this like cold arms race where you don't have to be mean but everybody has the power to be mean. And so everybody's sort of like looking at each other on the table like, okay, when's that going to drop? When's somebody going to be mean? Because once it does drop, once one person decides to be mean, at least in my play experience, everybody just goes crazy, destroying people's rides, shutting them down, stealing people's workers. I love it. Every time they announce a new Kickstarter for a new expansion, I'm there. I'm there. I want it. I would give Unfair an S tier, probably a low S tier, but an S tier game. And it's one of these games where I would completely understand when somebody said like, I don't like it at all. I'd be like, I totally get it, but it is a great game. Next up is Seasons. Here's another meme game. I think there's a trend here in my personal taste. I don't know if you noticed it. You probably have. I've mentioned it many times. Seasons is great. It is one of one of the tableau builders that I just fell in love with initially. And I love how colorful it is. I have all the expansions. I wish they would make more expansions. I would give Seasons an S tier. An S tier. Next up is Crafting the Cosmos. I am not the biggest fan of this game, primarily because of how, I don't like to use this word, but it's used a lot in Board Game Geek, fiddly. But this is the definition of Finley. My big mitts, when I go to put those little, whatever, those amoebas or something in between the energy resources, it's annoying. I'm like knocking things over. It sucks. But okay, the game itself, it's decent. It's a decent puzzle. It's fine. Kim likes it a lot more than me. She wouldn't let me sell it. I would give it a C. Talentum is another one of these like super dry Euros that I just, for whatever reason, just really enjoy. I think it offers a really good experience at 3 players. I just recently discovered how well it plays at 2 players. This is a really good 2-player game where you want to do so much, but you only have so many actions you can perform. It's tight. It's rewarding. Yeah, I really like Talentum. I would give it an A tier. This is an A tier Euro game. Great Western Trail is, of course, a classic. There's 2 new renditions of it. I still kind of feel like the original is the best one, but I often have that bias whenever the new editions come out. I just want to go back and play the original, and not even the second printing. Let me know let me know if the second printing improves that much, because I always hate when games update things and change things and take things away from the original edition. I got burned. I got burned by Libertalia. Now I'm just bitter. But Great Western Trail, you know it. It's great. I would give it. It's an A tier game. Next up is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. I think earlier in the video I said Paladins was my favorite of the Shem Phillips and McDonald duo. I think this one is. This one actually is. I love the way it plays. I love the dice placement. I love how you score and how you build out this sort of tableau of cards that sort of represent the galaxy and all the powers that you get and the things that you can do. This is a really good game. I would say A tier game. Next is Outlive. This game has been sitting in my collection for 3 years and I have never played it. Maybe 4. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it was Sam Healy. I don't know, some guy from the Dice Tower. He just raved about this game constantly, and I was just like, fine. And I let a content creator influence my purchasing decision, and I just never play it. Let me know in the comment section if I should really get this play it or just friggin' sell it. So yeah, not available. I have no idea. Underwater Cities is one of those games that just came alive the second I started exclusively playing it at 2 players. It's so simple. Like I can explain this so easily, and it has so it also somehow manages to feel pretty heavy. I love that you play your action card and you go somewhere, but you can get the powers of the card if they correspond to the color of the action that you placed on. It's neat. It's really neat, and I love building the little city with the domes. It's a really good game. I would give it high A tier. So Caper Europe is another one of these like push and pull tug of war style games, but I really like this one. I think there's a lot of little cleverness here and there. You can get this set up very easily. I can explain it very easily. It's a great game to introduce to individuals when a bigger group is coming. I would give Caper Europe a solid B. It's a B tier game. Viticulture is a game that's pretty well loved in this household, and for good reason. It's a great introductory worker placement game. It is not balanced at all. Listen, man, if you haven't figured it out by now, no Jamie Stegmaier game is balanced. They're all poorly balanced. And I wonder, I think that, let me know in the comment section, I feel like Viticulture might be the worst offender. I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's coming up. A lot of people say Tapestry. I think it's this one. Just fucking cards, man. Like you flip up those cards and some of them are just trash, complete trash. It's not like they're circumstance cards where it's like, this card might be good in some circumstances. No, 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 no. Some are just trash and some are just infinitely better. But it is pretty fun. I hate that it's fun, but it is fun. I would give Viticulture a low B tier. Another one of these dry Euros that I really, really enjoy. I shouldn't. The board looks so garish. It takes up so much space, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy that action cog wheel. And building the bridge with eggs. I don't know. There's a thematic reason. Who cares? This is a good game. I would give Praga like a high B tier, low A tier. High B tier game. Next is Dinosaur World. I hate this game, but Kim won't let me sell it. D tier. Next is Tapestry. Another one of these Jamie Stegmaier games that are like pretty fun, but also just poorly balanced and mechanically a little wonky, which is weird because like he has a YouTube channel dedicated to basically game mechanics, but whatever. He obviously knows what he's doing in creating games that are enjoyable. In Tapestry, Kim and I really like Tapestry, despite the fact that we had to resort to like a codex, like we're playing Warhammer or something to see the latest balance and patch notes on the civilizations. Even though we know it's just going up tracks, it is an enjoyable experience. And I would give Tapestry a B. Maybe a low B. Kim likes it a lot more than I do, but a B. Next is Small World. This is a game that was in our Trash or Treasure video and Mark selected it to be sold because it was our penalty for the video, but I haven't managed to sell it yet. I guess a lot of people are in the market for this Days of Wonder game, which is a shame because it is good, and it sucks that I have to get rid of it. I would give Small World a low B tier. Next up is Grand Austria Hotel. Never play this game at anything more than 2 players. 2 players is the perfect play experience for this game. I love the dice placement and the mechanics behind that. I like a lot about this game. Yeah, a lot of people that play it that I introduced to find was it the Duke? I don't know. Some guy visits and he can penalize you. But I find it's important to have some penalties in some games just to hold your feet to the fire sometimes. I think Grand Austria Hotel is a high B, low A. Let's go low A. Low A tier game. Trials Galactica sucks, and I'm having difficulty selling this. No, I don't want it here anymore. It was in the Trash or Treasure video, I think, and we both agreed to sell it. Oh, oh man, I just want to get into more detail in that video, so give it a watch. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. It's a D. It was a disappointing game. I wish it was better than what it ended up being. There was a lot of balance issues and not fun balance issues like Jamie Stegmaier games. So yeah, D tier. Next is Clank in Space. Okay, you got to tell me in the comment section what your favorite Clank game is, because I think I just need to own one, and I have always been told that the space one is the best. Although I did really enjoy Catacombs. This one, yeah, Clank's amazing. Clank's awesome. Clank is one of the best push your luck games you will ever find with some light deck building. I would give Clank an easy A, probably a high A. And last but not least, Harmonies. We did it, boys. This is the last game in my collection. Harmonies. I really like this game. This game took me by surprise. It's another one of these abstract tile laying animal games, but this one does it really right, and I think it's super brain burny. If you want more information on it, check our review of it. Both Kim and I really enjoy this one. It's a great game to play for 2 players. I would give Harmonies a A. Is it low A, but an A. Okay, that is the end of my board game collection tour. That took like 5 hours to film or something. I don't know. We'll see if I'll edit or not. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all the YouTube jazz. And then goodbye.